Looks like I'm living rent-free in your heads again, huh? I mean, if you're gonna spend your days obsessing over me, you might as well start calling me something respectable. Maybe Daddy Shizzy, or better yet, Papa Nut. Who's the grown-up here? Alright, it's me. Let's go. Call me Daddy. Yeah, that's who I am. Running your mind's like a master plan. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy. Take your pick. Alone in your thoughts while you still act sick. Call me Daddy. It's what you mean. Why you chase the crooks and I take the lead? Living rent-free. That's my name. Go ahead, say it. Put some respect on your name. Man, I'm too old. Well, here's a surprise. I'm the one with the brains while you're stuck with the lies. You act like you're experts, but here's the reality. I'm the one controlling your mental reality. So while you're out there trying to throw shade, I'm sipping coffee and you're feeling betrayed. You're mad, I got the spotlight, now it's my time. So why not call me Daddy or Papa with a rhyme? I'm the landlord and you're just the tenants, stuck in your headspace with no end in sight, no repentance. Call me Daddy, you know it's true. You'd be lost without me, stuck in the glue. Call me Daddy, I'm holding your mind while you're scrambling, trying to find what's behind. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, don't you see? You're living in my world now, I'm the VIP. Call me Daddy, just let it be. While you're trying to figure out your own identity. Oh, I see you're confused, trying to get it right. Spinning your wheels while I'm out of sight. You think you got it figured, but you got it all wrong. I've been running your minds all along. But sure, keep pretending you don't care. Keep saying you're done, but I'm still in the air. You got no choice but to bow to my name. Daddy Shizzy is here to own the game. You say you don't watch, but you're obsessed. Every word I say puts you to the test. Call me Daddy, Papa Nut, you know you should. Because I've been living rent-free, and you know it feels good. Shizzy Daddy, owning your headspace, and there's no escape. Good luck with that.
Hey everybody, how you doing today? Man, oh man, what a day we're gonna have. Oh boy. It's so good to see you. Welcome, Cynthia Fire Fairy. How you doing? Became an official YouTube member again. And she says, I decided to join the green folks all over again. Man, oh man, look at all you wonderful people there. We've got Shiberts over there that's on the Rumble side. Good to see you. I saw you there a second ago. I'll find it again. And if you're wondering, no, I do have my camera off. See, Shibert says, afternoon, Shizzy. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good to see you. And if you're wondering why the camera is off, is because I'm all red today. How you guys doing? Yeah. Go UGA. Hey, how you doing? Hazel Monte Eagle. Yeah, caught alive from the UK. Great Britain. Good to see you. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, how you doing, chat? Yeah, we're gonna have a little bit of fun today. Normally I don't do a stream in the middle of the day, but I was feeling a little frisky. You know how it goes. Fallen Hero's been a member for 5 months. So good to see you, Fallen Hero. I'm glad you could make it in for another wonderful day. Yes. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. Hugs. Oh, thank you, Cajun Mayu Queen. I appreciate you. Fallen Hero. Yes. Sherry, how you doing? Good to see everybody. Yeah. So there was a bunch of filings that came in over the past couple of days. Boomer sooner. Yeah, I could probably do that if I need to. Hey, Tina, good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, what is up? Everything is up. It was a beautiful day today. I went with my wife to go grab some lunch and stop by a local brewery and picked up some beer. It's pretty awesome. Yeah, if you're ever in the Atlanta area, the place to go and get some alcohol or some beer, because they have a restaurant there too, which is really cool. get like some wings and pizza. It's like a 12-inch pizza, but it's good stuff. Yeah. Wow, a live catch. Yeah, that happens. Sometimes I do show up and do a live on the weekends. It's not often. I'll be doing one tomorrow night. I just need to get with everybody and get it scheduled up. We're doing a parody reading of the Lord of the Rings. So if you haven't seen that with Dictionary Diva of Allstorm, sometimes Yamaha Biker makes it in for those. Those are usually fun. But I'll have to see what their schedule looks like in mine and make sure that they're all good for it. I might do it earlier. It depends on if everybody's up for doing an earlier one. We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. But yeah, so these filings came in over the weekend, and I was going through those a little bit yesterday. But I do a stream on Fridays with Mo in the deep end. We do like a Friday morning stream over here, and then we do a Friday or over. Is it over here, over there, over on her side? I'm so confused. It's been a long week. And then we do another one over here on Friday night for pre-stream before we go into FNL, which was an absolute blast last night. Had Broken Baker on and Vice Baby and just a bunch of really cool people. But we love doing those. So hey, how you doing? Welcome. And good to see you. Mr. in Red, it is. And look at this. Hey, Hazel Monte Eagles gifted 5 of memberships to all you 5 wonderful people. I got those. Make sure you show a little bit of love to Hazel Monte Eagle. And I will give you guys the shit show song after a bit, but I wanted to get through some of these filings and talk about some of the craziness that's been going on, that's a little it's those kind of things that should probably be done behind the scenes, but they tend to do these things up front, which is really crazy and really sad if you think about it. So we'll go ahead and just dig into this one right here. Now there was a status report filed by Jeremy. Randy, you have to understand, Randy is the attorney, but Jeremy is the actual plaintiff on this. Now, Elephant Shoe Jeremy Hales, by and through underside counsel. As you can see, by and through underside counsel means that Randy doesn't file anything unless he's got the okay from his client. You're lurking in from the Royal Caribbean oasis of the seas. Well, welcome, Diane, and I hope that you're having a good day today and enjoying it. Stop it, Wes. That was not funny. I said Arby's. Arby's. That's not my fault that it was cutting out on me. Good to see all of you. Through undersigned counsel, this court's order dated July 15th, Doc 94, submits the status report regarding the progress of defendant Preston's bankruptcy case and states as follows. Now, July 3rd, she filed a bankruptcy petition in the United States Bankruptcy Court for the Northern District of Florida. On July 15th, the court entered an order staying this case as to defendant Preston, according to 11 U.S.C., is directing plaintiffs to file status reports every 90 days regarding the progress of defendant Preston's bankruptcy case. There's currently a pending motion to reinstate the case. Document number 34 in Preston's defense bankruptcy proceedings. Well, on October 6th, the bankruptcy court issued a notice of canceled hearing. Document number 38, canceling that hearing that was previously scheduled for October 7th regarding the motion to reinstate case. Now, the bankruptcy court has indicated that it will rule on the papers with respect to the motion to reinstate case. As to the day of the status report, the bankruptcy court has not yet ruled on the motion to reinstate case. Plaintiffs will continue to monitor the bankruptcy proceedings and will file additional status reports as directed by this court. Respectfully submitted 16th day of October 2025, certificate of service. He says he filed this, and it's basically just saying that everything was filed. Now, what exactly does this mean? It means that the judge ordered a status report being filed every 90 days. The first one was the first status report was going to be coming on the 15th. It just probably took a little while before the court took it, whatever. It's within timely. I mean, if he would have waited a month or something, they might have had something to say. they probably would have said, hey, can you give us a status on this? But he's basically told the court everything that we know so far, which nobody can say that it's going to be reinstated yet at this point. Right now, all that it looks like is that there's a motion to reinstate, and the court is reviewing the documents. Now, how long is the court going to take to review the documents? No one knows, because the court could take 6 months to rule on it. They could take 3 weeks. They could take 4 days. We don't know how long it's going to take, because the court moves at its own pace. Plus, there's government shutdown, all these kinds of crazy things going on. So we're sort of in limbo as far as when the court's going to rule, whether it's going to be reinstated, whether it's going to stay where it is, or if it's going to do anything more. Second time on that ship. Awesome. I love it. So you've got these kinds of things going on. And of course, you've got Torquedork, which, and I'm going to go into the idiots that are saying things that are not true. And I guess the best way to do is to pull up the document that these morons are trying to throw out there, saying that there's been no movement on this, that everything's stayed, and which wouldn't be true. Okay. And somebody had sent this to me earlier, and I want to make sure that I actually have the correct document. I don't have the correct filing here. Now, the fleas over there had this wonderful thing to say, that there was no stay in this case whatsoever. Like no, it was denied. Okay, because what they did is they only clipped a small portion of it out. Now, you have to understand that this is one of the reasons why, like, you'll see a lot of our channels, whenever we're talking about these things and we're doing any sort of reporting on them, we try to give you the whole document, try to let you see the whole document without doxing anybody, without bringing up any information about them as far as addresses, phone numbers. I mean, even though they're public court documents and you can always find them, we still try to avoid that. Now, the little part that was clipped out of here, and I think it's in this one right here. No, it's actually not in this document. Let me give it just a second. I will pull that document up. I thought I had it right here, but I don't. And I believe it is 121 that the document was filed. And yeah, here it is. And I believe I've got it redacted. And okay. 14 days of the SR. And what they did is, and I'll give me just a second, because there was another thing here, and it had to do with this one right here. And I believe I want to just make sure that I've got everything clipped out of it. What they showed you, well, maybe not. Thank you so much with the 10 gifted memberships. You guys are really pushing. You are a vision in red. Howdy, everyone. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. See, Mac, I appreciate you. Definitely, maybe not. Thank you so much. That is so kind of you. Let me go ahead and show you guys exactly the document I'm talking about. So what they did is they basically zoomed in right here, and they show this right here. For the above reasons, plaintiff's motion for substitute service but processed by email is denied. Well, except they cut it out about right here. Yes, the judge did deny the process by email. And it's very important to understand that whenever these idiots are reading documents, they'll never show you exactly what the whole document gives you. And this is why their garbage is so easy to debunk and pull aside and say, yeah, you didn't read the whole document. Because if you were to read the whole document, it gives reasons why none of these were. Now, if you read this right here, this little part right here, it's just a nice little subsection of the whole thing. if you read that, you'll understand that what the hell happened. Okay, I think it's not responding. I love it whenever it does that. So it'll take a couple of seconds for it to actually respond and probably give me an error. It says right here in this document that the Wisconsin statute does authorize service by publication if certain requirements are met, but plaintiffs have service by email and not service by publication. Okay. Now, like I said, whenever I first showed you this, the court was very adamant in saying there is relief that we can grant you. You just did not request it. And whenever you do things like this and lie to people and tell them bad information, it's not really that they're lying by making a bold-faced lie. The way that they're doing it is they're lying to you by not giving you all of the information, all of the details. And that right there is where it becomes really crazy. You can give me any color heart you want. You can give orange hearts, whatever. And I'm an equal opportunity lover. I love everybody. So we're good there. Omission is still alive. Well, true, Yamaha it is true, but this is what I'm trying to say is these guys have this idea in their head, and it's a typical PR kind of scam that they run whenever they do these things. Is they're trying to put themselves in the best light possible. And whenever I showed you guys this, what was it, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I said the same thing. I said, there's a way that they can do this. We'll just have to wait and see what Randy does, whether he's going to allow it to go, whether he's not going to allow it to go, whether he's going to refile something, whether he's going to update it. Nobody knows at that point in time. And I'm going to end this right here and just see if that fixes this. Because I have a whole bunch of stuff pulled up, but for whatever reason, it's giving me shite. All right, let me pull that back up here. Okay, that seems to be working. It'll give me a second to pull this thing back up, and I'll go back into this right here so I can just maybe do these one at a time. Now, leaving these kinds of informations out of there, and I sure we'll restore all of them. Okay, that seems to work. And we'll present it again. And boom, right there. Cool. Now that seems to be working. And I hadn't thought about this, but I do have a couple open letters if the old man is feeling better now. The rock salt in his ass always wears him out, but I'll send him a nice bit of love if he wants to come home by, because he's always fun to have on. There you go, brother. I'll send that over to Yami. Yami, if he wants to come by and hang out for a bit. I understand if he can't or isn't able to, but he should come by on Sunday and help read with me, Diva, Mo in the deep end. I haven't asked Mo, but I'm hoping I can get her to come on. It'd be awesome if we could. Oh, okay. I have to go tend to something. Well, you go tend to that. Get that lag. So this here, as I said, was not being shown. They don't show you this right here. Second time plaintiffs have filed to provide proof of service or extension to move defendant service deadline prior to respective deadline expiring. Plaintiffs only request an extension previously after the court ordered them to show cause for their failure to serve. And it's ordered that within 14 days of the date of this order, plaintiff must show cause as to why their claims against Torque and Dork should not be dismissed for failure to timely serve under the civil rules of procedure. And that was filed on the 14th day. Well, as requested by the court, that's a different one. That's a status report. Response to show cause was filed It says Elephant Shoe, Jeremy Hales, respectfully respond to this court order. Show cause dated October 14th. I'm going to close that right there. October 14th, request additional time to serve Torquedoric through substitute service by publication pursuant to Wisconsin Statutes 801.11. Despite diligent efforts, plaintiff has been able to serve the Torquedoric due to his deliberate evasion of service, which constitute good cause for an extension under Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 4M. Here's a legal standard. Rules of Civil Procedure tells you all about that. Even in the absence of good cause, the 11th Circuit Court has explicitly held that Rule 4M grants discretion to the district court to extend time of service of process. It says that the argument is that the court should exercise its discretion to grant an extension under Rule 4M when a plaintiff fails to show good cause for failing to effectively time service. District court must consider whether any other circumstances warrant extension of time based on the facts of the case. Do you realize the only one that got sanctions is the one lonely lawyer that is following the law? Yeah, well, is paying sanctions. May the district court exercise its discretion to either, and I agree that it's absolutely crappy that Randy is the only one that's been given sanctions, only one paying it. I mean, you can say whatever you want to about it, but you also have to understand that in paying those sanctions and complying by what the law says is what keeps him from looking like he's doing anything inappropriate. Okay. So, as crappy as it is, and he's the one that's paying the sanctions, there is a benefit to him paying those sanctions, is that one, he's going, you're right, Your Honor. I'm taking my chastising like a big boy, that I'll do better, and moves on with his day, completely unfazed by it because he hasn't changed anything that he's done. He did what he thought he was supposed to do, and the judge said no and sanctioned him. It was crappy the way that it went down, but you don't see him going online and bitching and moaning about it. He goes, okay, I'll pay the sanctions. Because what's going to happen is it goes to show how the other side is misbehaving. And if the judge doesn't bring sanctions against another certain attorney in this case, and then it really becomes a big issue if they come back and try to fight for certain things, because he'll just say, listen, I was sanctioned. I was told to be here. I was sanctioned for my behavior. I did everything that I was supposed to do. Meanwhile, the judge didn't do what he was supposed to do by providing sanctions on the other side for the almost identical misbehavior. So it shows that as much as these guys are saying how unethical and how horrible of a person Randy is, that he shouldn't be a barred attorney, it's just going to show that he's doing everything correct, that they're the ones that are misbehaving. And that's the biggest thing to want potential clients in the future, because that's who you're trying to keep. You're trying to make sure that you're doing everything that you need to, as far as business side goes, that you can continue having clients and they know that you're going to do the right thing by them. The 11th Circuit has recognized advisory commitment rule no 4M. Now, Torquedoric is deliberately evading service. We read through all of this stuff the other day. And it's giving sort of the relief of what can be done. And it says that he was tried to get served, doesn't live there, closed the door before he could give any more information. That he's also posted a video on his YouTube channel, demonstrated full awareness of his pending litigation by commenting and showing to viewers document number 96, which is the one that he is completely aware of. On August 15th, he was, upon being advised that a request to waive service is being sent to him, posted another video on his YouTube channel stating, plaintiff just wants to serve Dave with court papers, but here's where the law is clear. Refusing to waive service is not evading service under federal rules. Civil Procedure 4D, a defendant has the right to decline a waiver and require formal service. There's no penalty for exercising that right beyond possibly paying the cost of service. That's it. Actually, there is quite a big penalty for paying for the cost of service whenever you're evading. See, you're not reading all of the information, stupid Dave, because the information in those documents, if you look at what 4D says, it's telling you that if you're evading service, dumbass, that you will be paying the amount that it costs to perfect service on you for causing the evasion. Of course, they're not that smart. They don't pay any attention to that. There's a reason why you shouldn't try to evade service. The court has made this very, very clear multiple times over and over again. Now, there would be a reason to say that he couldn't provide, that they couldn't effect service on him. One, you could have somebody that's deceased. Number two, they could be in an entirely different country. Number three, geez, we could go down through the list of reasons why you couldn't perfect service on somebody. And at that point in time, the court generally will say, well, you're trying to go for somebody that's well outside even the jurisdiction of the United States. There's no reason why we should perfect service on them. But this is not the case. This is somebody that's fully aware that they're being sued, that's fully aware of every situation that's going on in this, as so far as they're on YouTube bragging about evading service. You keep pulling that kind of crap, and the judge usually was not going to look too kindly on it. But we'll just have to see how the judge rules. We don't have insight into how the judge is. Despite what the Kankle twins might think, nobody has any insight on what the judge is doing. And as speaking of that, of their bullshit, where they seem to think that everyone has information about how the judge is, it's not true. Nobody has that information. Only the judge has that information. He's not too forthcoming with it. Between August 13th and September 8th, 3 additional attempts were personally made between Turk and Dirk, and each attempt failing and resulting in no answer. The process server assigned by the Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office concluded subject is avoiding per webcast. So the sheriff's office looked at what he was posting and what he's saying to his little people over there, and they're saying the same thing. And they're all cheering him on. Go, Day, go. Run like an idiot through the fire forest. Due to the above, plaintiff has reason to believe that Turk and Dork is deliberately evading service of process. Plaintiff has knowledge that he regularly uses this specific email address, which I've blocked out for his safety, for business and personal communications. That's evidenced by his YouTube page, which states, like and subscribe, Facebooks, YouTubes, donations, and get a shout out, emails, another link to his address, email recently sent to the present by co-defendant, Mr. Bonehead. A copy being attached, requests for waiver of service pursuant to Federal Rules of Civil Procedure 4D were emailed and sent via USPS priority mail to Turk and Dirk. The email was sent to MILF. It was not rejected. See exhibit. Turk and Dirk is thus advised in advance via the email that was being sent to him, and result was that USPS mail was returned to plaintiff's attorney marked refused. The evidence strongly indicates that stupid is deliberately evading service of process. As shown, Supra made multiple attempts to serve at various addresses known to belong to him, all with attempts of being unsuccessful. Process server for Milwaukee's County Sheriff's Office concluded that subject is avoiding per webcast after 3 additional failed service attempts. my lovely wife, I love it. Look in the... My lovely wife is sending me pictures from a swing while she's kicking back with one of the dogs. It's awesome. Plaintiff had made multiple attempts to serve Turk and Dirk at various addresses known to belong with him, with all attempts being unsuccessful. Process server did that. He's demonstrated full awareness of this pending litigation by commenting on and showing court documents from this case in his YouTube channel. He explicitly acknowledged the service attempts on his YouTube channel, stating that refusing to waive service is not evading service. And then a defendant has the right to decline to waiver and require formal service. But they shouldn't be evading service, MILF. That ain't no MILF. Well, somebody might. I'm sure there's a dog out there that would hump his leg. When plaintiffs sent a request for waiver of service via USPS priority mail, it was returned marked refused. Now, courts have recognized when a defendant is evading service, here's where the law part comes in. This justifies an extension of time for service. Parties' efforts to evade service of process justify an extension of time to evade service. Similarly, the United States CFTC versus Allegia 272 FRD 617, Florida. The court ordered alternative service upon defendants who were believed to be evading service, stating a court's discretion to determine what alternative means of service is appropriate in a particular case. We commit to the sound discretion of the district court to the task of determining when particularities and necessities of a given case require alternative service under Rule 4F3. Courts have permitted alternative service of process through various means, including by email and or service on local counsel. The Fermi District Court's decision to permit service by email and regular mail to the defendant's U.S. subsidiary, and you could also send it to the U.S. attorney, permitting plaintiff to serve defendant via FedEx and hand delivery to defendant's U.S. attorney, authorizing service via email and public announcement as established in Potash antitrust litigation, directing substitute service on the U.S. attorneys retained by Russian defendants. Now that would be out of country, so that's who you would go through as U.S. attorney. Brookshire Brothers, authorizing service on foreign defendants through local counsel. Emphasis is added, like by reaching out to local counsel and getting something set up. Now, if there was somebody that was representing him, well, look at that. Howdy. You doing, Freckle Ginger? Yeah. No, it was Arby's. Arby's. Don't start with me. Moreover, the court in Lancaster stated the court will not require a plaintiff to expend limitless resources in order to effect service upon defendant who has actual notice of suit, who intentionally evades service. Doc number 72 at 7-8. Now, service by publication under Wisconsin law is appropriate. Plaintiffs request permission to serve defendant Turk and Dirk by publication pursuant to Wisconsin statutes 8011, which provides that if a defendant cannot be served personally or by substitute service with reasonable diligence, service may be made by publication. This method is appropriate given the documented evasion of service by Turk and Dirk. The Federal Rules of Civil Procedure permits service of process on an individual by following state law for serving a summons in an action brought in courts of general jurisdiction in the state where the district court is located or where service is made. Now, since defendant Turk and Dirk resides in Wisconsin, Wisconsin service laws may be applied. Wisconsin statute 8011 provides that when a defendant cannot be served personally within reasonable diligence, service may be made by publication of the summons as a Class 3 notice and by mailing the copy of the summons and complaint to the defendant's last known address. The plaintiffs has exercised reasonable diligence in attempting to personally serve him. Service has been documented on the record, according to one. One says, in Wisconsin, Class 3 notice requires 3 insertions into a newspaper, not like he would insert them, published once a week for 3 consecutive weeks, with the last publication occurring at least 1 week before the act or event. And it says, for this foregoing reasons, find that the defendant, his evasion of service constitutes good cause for an extension alternatively exercise its discretion to extend the time of service, even in the absence of good cause, grant plaintiffs' request for service by publication pursuant to Wisconsin statutes, and allow plaintiffs an additional 45 days to complete the service by publication, which usually gives enough time because sometimes they don't run notices, but every couple of weeks or something like that. So, and he just basically says that he's certified. He sent them all out to these morons. And there it is. Miss you all. Iron Rabbit, my lovely Iron Rabbit. Good to see you, doll. Iron Rabbit has been here for 2 years. She is one of my oldest mods. And I don't mean age-wise, but she is definitely one of my most longtime mods. It's always good to have someone like the Iron Rabbit coming by and showing me all that kind of love. But you know what's even better? I think you just set the whole chat's uteruses on fire.
Wow. Well, hi, everybody. How y'all doing?
Brother? Oh, my gosh.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I have no talents. Yeah.
No
My
talents.
day was going fine. Everything was fine. I was banging away on my leather, having all kinds of fun. And then just J Hip had to go and ruin my fantasies of Playboy. My entire childhood shot to hell. I feel a scathing ode to the ruination of my childhood in Playboy by Just J Hip coming on. I might have to think about it for a couple of days. That fucker ruined my entire childhood today. My whole world has come to mean nothing. I hope you're listening to this, you sawed-off little shit.
Oh, God.
Oh, but he doesn't care because he's going to go to work.
Yeah.
Bald head, the moonbeams bouncing off, causing yet again another derailment of trains.
Seen off that little pear head. I love it. Oh, God.
That was funny. That was so funny.
I missed it, but just...
Oh, yeah, you got to go back and watch it. I was like, oh, my God. Fucking... And then I tried to say, and then somebody was like, oh, well, you know, you could still have fun thinking about the old. The problem is now I think about Erica Lanica and I picture a pear-shaped head now. It does nothing for me. My entire prepubescent history has been wiped out in one fell swoop.
Oh, God. Yes. Oh, you can laugh all you want to. Jesus. Megan.
Terrible day.
Oh, my God. Oh, I'm gonna have way too much fun, brother. But it is so good to hear your voice. It really.
Yeah. You know.
Are you gonna be around tomorrow? Are you around tomorrow?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
Wait and see.
Okay.
I'll have to wait and see.
Well, I'll send you an invite anyway because I talked to Diva and Volstorm and they're wanting to continue on with the parody book some more.
Okay.
My goal today was to actually reinstall my operating system, but for whatever reason, every time I try to reinstall it, my keyboard won't work, so I can't hit yes or no or
Oh, so now
anything.
your keyboard's all jacked up?
No, there's nothing wrong with the keyboard. It's
Oh.
just the BIOS isn't recognizing the damn keyboard, so I can't do anything whenever it goes into that. I'm like, son of a. So I'll have to figure out another way to make it work. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't know.
Those things are so dumb.
Oh,
I ran into that the other day, computer, whomever, Microsoft, whatever, going through all these updates and all that jazz. And the thing that really pisses me off about it is that you get your stuff set, right? And then they go through and they do some update. And inevitably, something that you had turned off or that you had turned on is now either on or off. And now you can't figure out, now you got to try and delve through all your crap to figure out what the hell's going on.
yeah. Well,
I couldn't get my printer to work.
oh,
It had cut off connection to my printer somehow.
Yeah.
So it took me a while to figure out what the hell was going on. Well, my wife too. She's the computer brains. But
well, and here's the bad part is it was probably about 2-3 weeks ago or longer. My computer, I was sitting here working on something for work, and all of a sudden all my screens went blank, and then they came back up, and I was like, oh sweet, and then it went back down again, like nothing. And everything that I did, nothing would happen. It was like the motherboard was getting no power whatsoever. Like it just wouldn't power up. And I had heard just a little pop. I usually wear these earbuds, but I had heard a little pop. It wasn't very loud, but I was like, maybe something did something wrong on the motherboard. I still don't know what's wrong with it. I mean, the processor, I'm sure, is fine, but there's something wrong with the motherboard. And then whenever I started looking into getting a new one, I was just like, you know what? I just ordered a new video card. It was sitting in the box, waiting to be installed. And so I've rebuilt my computer from the ground up again.
yeah.
Whatever. It's fine. And so in doing so, the operating system has errors. I keep getting errors in games and crap like that. So it's messed up. I just need to reinstall the operating system and go for a clean wipe.
Yeah.
Maybe get
So
out.
sounds like, yeah.
Yeah, get out some water, high pressure, and clean.
Yeah,
wipe.
yeah. That always helps. Yeah. Some soap. Just scrub it up a little. Yeah. Yeah. clean that dust out. Yeah.
So I saw that there was a filing that came in. I believe it was yesterday. Or maybe it was the day before. I'm a little bit behind on some of this, but there was a request for clerk's default filed by Jeremy against paint chips, and it's not very long, but I did have an open letter for it, which is pretty fun. Pursuant to the federal rules of civil procedure 55A, support plaintiffs effectuated substitute service of process on paint chip on August 4th at approximately 11:10 a.m. Affidavit of service process server Eugene Griffith has been filed with this court, Doc 111. Can you believe we're already up to Doc 124 and it hasn't even been that long?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Pursuant to Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 12A, defendant Paint Chip was required to serve an answer or other responsive pleading within 21 days after being served with the summons and complaint. The time for Paint Chip to serve an answer or the responsive pleading is expired. Paint Chip is filed to plead or otherwise defend this action as required by Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. And also, Paint Chip is not a minor. Incompetent person, now that's debatable, or a member of the military service, most definitely not.
No. The incompetence part, that's a little shaky ground there.
Shaky, but I mean, he's competent enough that he could.
I wouldn't bet my left nut on that.
Well, I won't shoot that one off either.
Yeah.
The request is made notwithstanding plaintiff's pending motion to declare substitute service valid and enter judicial default, as the entry of clerk's default under Rule 55 is a separate procedural step from the entry of a default judgment, 115. Wherefore, plaintiffs respectfully request that the clerk enter default against paint chip for failure to plead, otherwise defend, and is required by rules of civil procedure. And I thought I had this redacted, so give me just a second. And I don't think I do. Yeah, it just basically says that he filed it electronically and served everybody. Now, I because all these. The fleas really like to use ChatGPT to look things up. So I looked up, and ChatGPT was so nice for me to tell me exactly what this means as far as him goes. ChatGPT was very, and I said, so if the default and the judge accepts this or this is accepted by the court, what it can mean is that for the sexual cyber harassment, he would get an action of damages for $370,000, no less than $90,000. The statute provides $5,000 or actual, whichever is greater, attorney's fees, and a permanent injunction. In default world, the liability part is automatic. The judge still does a damage prove up, but your damage numbers are set at the target. Now, under the civil conspiracy, he would be jointly and severally liable as for the underlying torts. The FDUTPA would be $959,000 plus fees and requests of punitives. The Lanham Act would be responsible for $1,879,000 plus treble damages and enhancement profits under the 15 USC. Tortious interference, another $1,835,000. Tortious interference, another $1,229,000. Malicious prosecution, $390,000. Oh no, I see. This is for different people right here. Just those, like his portion of it all would run up probably north of $10 million if the judge finds him in default at this point in time.
Or
just north of
the
10
court's
million.
discretion. Yeah.
Or the court's discretion. But yeah, they could easily find him north of 10 million, easily. That might be why he's fighting so hard to not to send his daddy in there, because
yeah, his dad did all that. Yeah, sure.
No, totally. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
his dad is the smart one here.
The only thing that I will say about that is that, and I would require definitive proof, as in like perusing through an H&P, which isn't going to happen. But anyway, to see whether or not his dad actually has been diagnosed with Alzheimer's and or dementia. Outside of that, whether he wrote this shit or not, which I already know the answer to that.
Well, yeah. I'm pretty sure we all do.
He's still going along with it. So his dad is just as big of a piece of shit.
Oh yeah, we already know that. Yeah. I mean, it was made very clear, like early on, that his dad didn't write this, because in what world do you say, we don't know that, I don't know who this person is, and then in the same within 2-3 paragraphs you're going, well, this is my stepmother. Wait a second, you're saying it's your stepmother, but you're saying you don't know who this person is and they're no relation to you, but then you're saying that it's your stepmother, but you're supposedly the father. Very confusing person. You might want to get your story straight before you start.
But you don't know that he knows that you don't know that he knows that you don't know that.
True. Right? That's so true. So, of course, I did one of those beautiful open letters, and you're welcome to read if you like. And I'll do. No, it's absolutely wonderful, because I think people have been missing this. They really have.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzy, Wiz, Nut.
Is that too loud or is that good volume there?
I'm not hearing any music at all.
You're not hearing any music at all? That is so weird. I think I know why it might not be working, but I have no way of proving it. That's all right.
Can everybody else hear us?
Later. Can you hear it now? No?
No, I can't hear the music. Can everybody else hear us?
I hope so. They should be able to. No music? Maybe? Yes, no?
No.
Okay, I'll just add the music in later.
Okay.
That's fine.
All right. No, they can't hear us. Damn. Okay.
No music, but we hear us talking. Okay.
Just
well,
kidding.
that's fine. There's something funky with it. And
It's weird. I'm thrown off. My first day back, you don't have a fucking helmet. No music.
All right. You know what? I can.
Jay shit all over my Playboy dreams and fantasies.
All right. I'll get the music happening here for you.
Oh, there we go. There it is.
There it is.
Okay. Now, is that too loud for everybody? Or do we need to turn the music down a little?
I think that should be good.
Okay.
Yeah.
We can. Open letter. The curious case of paint chips intelligence, or how to lose a game of checkers you set up yourself. There's a special kind of genius that thrives in the cracks. God, this is all starting out. That thrives in the cracks between deadlines and reality. It doesn't build anything, doesn't argue anything, and certainly doesn't win anything. It survives by hiding behind potted plants, daring the clock to catch it. That's the strain of brilliance on display here. The anti-strategy of paint chips. The man who treats basic procedure like a personal insult and thinks silence is the same as a legal position. Congratulations on inventing a brand new field of study. Performative incompetence as a litigation tactic.
Sorry.
Oh, let's begin with the foundation of your intelligence, which appears to be a stack of inspirational fridge magnets repurposed as legal doctrine, or piles of bullshit painted different colors, yet still bullshit. You mistake noise for knowledge, volume for value, and avoidance for victory. When service shows, you vanish. When the deadlines whisper, you nap. Because he's easily tired. When the court asks a question, you respond with a selfie of your own importance. Well, when you get winded wiping your ass on the shitter, I mean, that's a lot of reaching around.
Well,
the movies.
Well, he's used to no reaching around, so
yeah. Well, yeah.
It just comes at him without or reaching.
This is so comfortable. Ass down, face down, ass up. The movie set is simple: duck, weave, stall, then declare yourself misunderstood.
Somehow.
You've somehow managed to turn the world's most basic board game into interpretive dance. And you're shocked when the referee doesn't award points for your twirling. Oh, and that horrific tutu. That's worse than the violence that was bestowed upon me today by Just J Hip. Sawed-off little mushroom. Intelligence in the real world is not the art of evasion. It's the discipline of engagement. It looks like reading the rules, not inventing a subplot where the rules must first earn your respect. It looks like filing a response, not filing a performance. But you insist on treating federal procedure like an open mic night where the judge is your audience and deadlines are suggestions. The only thing you've proven beyond doubt is that gravity still works when the gavel drops. I can't play pickleball. I fell down and broke rib. Gamma Hales broke my ribs.
He probably broke a rib laughing at how stupid this is.
You have a gift for the one more that always boomerangs. Or the one move that always boomerangs, I should say. Declining to answer and then acting personally wounded by the consequences. Well, you call it strategy. Everyone else calls it default. You call it courage. Everyone else calls it hiding. You insist the process server is a rumor and the docket is a glitch. Yet here we are again, watching you try to outrun paperwork like it's a velociraptor that only sees you if you move.
He reminds me of that guy too.
Right? Newsflash. It sees you. The court sees you. We all see you. We couldn't miss your fat ass a mile away. And you're still running in circles around like a coffee table you bolted to the floor.
I'm sorry.
Let's talk about your favorite costume. The Kool-Aid Man. No. Philosopher. King of technicality. You parade around the borrowed aura of Latin phrases and pretend they add mass to your argument. But you never quite land the plane. You're the guy who recites de minimis in a parking dispute and thinks it's a mic drop. You paper over confusion with confidence and expect the court to grade on vibes. Meanwhile, your filings read like they were dictated through a wind tunnel by someone who learned to law on VHS. The citations show up like stray cats, loud, hungry, and looking at you for direction you don't have, or just waiting for you to keel over so they can eat your face. There's a pattern in your intellectual diet. You harvest the appearance of intelligence, not the substance. You quote the part everyone knows and skip the part everyone needs.
Oh, yes.
You wield procedure like it's a wand with only one spell. Deus Maximus. Then when the clock strikes and the clerk steps forward, you gasp like the calendar betrayed you. The truth is less dramatic. You built a house out of fog. I almost said frogs. You built a house out of fog and got wet when weather happened. Your brilliance is most radiant when you pretend the consequences are optional. The court asks for a step. You interpret it as a suggestion. Opposing counsel files something solid. You attempt a vibe-based rebuttal and word salad decoy or nothing at all. The difference between daring and dodging is that one of them shows up and you don't. There's also the little matter of your self-mythology. The mastermind who is always 3 moves ahead but somehow can't find the front door because he's too busy licking the windows outside watching the game being played before him. Or when the process knocks. You announce yourself as a strategist while displaying the tactical sense of a folding chair. Yeah, no shit. Real intelligence anticipates the other side's strongest argument and meets it head on. Yours anticipates a spotlight and then melts on it. You might be impressive in a hallway echoing with your own footsteps, but paper doesn't flinch. Deadlines don't negotiate. And the clerk does not confuse confidence with compliance. When you do file, you treat paragraphs like smoke grenades.
Or
Lots of
shitballs.
billowing. Yeah, lots of billowing. Hold on just a second. Oh, man. I almost choked on that one.
So last night they were talking about these new Arby's steak balls, and I thought and I said Arby's, but it cut me off, so it sounded like I said herpes.
Oh, gee. Herpes steak balls. Well, just like herpes, easier in than out. They're the friend that stands up just to say hi and let you know they're still around. Lots of billowing, not much aim. The structure wanders, the point evaporates. And by the time the reader claws through the thicket you've planted, there's nothing inside but a cardboard throne and a crown made of excuses.
Oh.
Then you act offended that no one applauded. It's not censorship when a judge expects coherence. It's not persecution when the rules apply.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gotcha when the consequence is the exact one printed on the box.
Well, and he wouldn't know about the box because he just eats the whole damn thing. It's
Yeah, right.
like a piece of cardboard. Just
Your defenders, those tireless keepers of the "he's just being strategic" bonfire, love to argue that you're playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers. Cute little line. Too bad your king keeps tripping over your pawns, whatever.
Bronze.
Yeah. That too. What you're actually playing is statue. You freeze. And then you beg the universe to respect the art. Well, the universe is busy. The clerk has work to do. Strategy is action with a plan. Silence is theater with a bill. I get the feeling you think litigation is improv, that if you throw enough confusion at a calendar, it will turn into a choose-your-own-adventure where you pick the ending like you like. But courts aren't the audiences, and judges aren't casting directors waiting for your dramatic entrance. Calendar rules are the opposite of interpretive. You don't get credit for bold choices when the assignment was turn it in by the date. You're the student who spends a month crafting a monologue about why the essay prompt is beneath him and then cries foul when the zero shows up like a sunrise. Yeah, no shit, right?
It is.
What's truly dazzling about your, well, in quote, mind, unquote? If we must assign it a glitter, is the relentless commitment to proving that appearances are enough. You mistake retweets for credibility and outrage for evidence. You think a clever insult is a legal analysis and that a personal brand can outrun a record of performance. But a record is not a rumor. It's ink. You can't subtweet a docket into being kinder. You either answer or you didn't. You either show up or you didn't. The rest is wallpaper or shit paper, whichever. You've built a personality. Yeah. You've built a personality that can't survive direct contact with facts. When evidence appears, you pivot to theater. When theater falls flat, you pivot to grievance. When grievance exhausts itself,
like he does,
pivot to absence. Yes. It's a carousel powered by ego, and it always delivers you to the same painted horse. Unicorn jizz. The consequence you swore would never arrive. Meanwhile, the grown-ups press forward, make their record, and let the machinery do what it does. Your, quote, intelligence, unquote, is an unbroken streak of betting against machinery. At some point, pretending not to hear the fire alarm stops being edgy and starts being a problem. Yeah, sure, right. Those flames aren't real.
It's false news. It's fake news, man.
Too close to the fire to see the problem. You can only call the rules petty for so long before the rules answer by doing exactly what they promised. That's the part your mind refuses to grasp. Rules aren't people you can charm or shame. Rules are levers. You either pull them or they pull you. The lever doesn't care how you feel about the fulcrum. So here's the quiet truth your brand can't swallow.
Not all intelligence. Can't swallow all of.
Yeah. Just relax. Don't fight it. Just swallow it. Intelligence is an unacceptable cleverness. It's responsibility with receipts. It's facing the strong argument and having a stronger one. It's showing up when it matters and answering when you are asked. It's losing small battles because you understand the shape of the war. You have mistaken refusal for sophistication. You have confused the drama of delay with the dignity of defense. And in the end, the record does what the record does. Oh, it remembers.
Yeah, it does.
When the clerk moves, that isn't flair. It's the system acknowledging gravity. Your most bitter enemy. You had every chance to argue, to challenge, to file, to fight, to meet a case on its merits. Instead, you auditioned for the role of Mystery Man, and were shocked to discover the part is silent. There is no producer's cut where the hero wins by hiding in the credits. There's only the docket, and the docket is indifferent to myth. If you want the dignity, you keep borrowing in press releases and hallway monologues. Earn it the old-fashioned way by doing the work, on time, on point, and on paper. Send the grown-ups into the room instead of the brand. Trade obfuscation for arguments. Trade posture for proof. Trade the magic trick for math. Because right now, your intelligence is just a stage fog. And the only thing it's obscuring is the exit you refuse to take or can't fit through.
I can't.
So you just keep bouncing back on stage, making a bigger idiot out of yourself. Until then, keep lecturing the calendar about how unfair it is. Keep insisting that the rules are tyrants for behaving like rules. Keep announcing that you're the great or the grand strategist while the clerk quietly does what the clerk was always going to do. It's not that you were outplayed. It's that you refused to sit at the table and the game ended without you. That isn't intelligence. Well, that's a hobby. Sincerely, Shizzy Wiznut, patron of Saint of Velcro Shoes, captain of the Star-Spangled Bannered Helmet, day trip passenger on the short bus, secretary-treasurer of the Window Lickers Union, and an occasional crayon connoisseur when the docket gets spicy. Oh, yeah.
And most definitely.
I will not.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzy, Wiz, Nut.
Yeah. Thank you, Yami. I appreciate you always.
Yay.
Yeah.
That was fun. I haven't done that in a while.
I know. You've been missed. Trust me.
Just
You've been
me?
missed. Can you hear me?
Oh, okay. Well, I can, but you froze up there for a second.
Oh,
I didn't know if it was you or me.
it was me, probably. you were just fine. I could hear you just fine.
All by myself.
Oh, my face hurts from laughing at you, Yamaha. Well, that might not be from laughing. Just
A
saying.
little rusty.
But that one-two punch. Oh, that sucks. Because if they can't hear the music, then me doing this right here does nothing. Does it? Nothing.
No.
Yep, I figured. Damn it.
Yeah.
It's
Well, we could hear the music when we were reading.
Well, that's because I
But what you
have it permanently installed on my computer. So I did it inside StreamYard instead of
Gotcha.
in the magic button.
Okay. Gotcha.
I don't
Yeah.
know why it's acting so weird. Like I
Yeah, I
said,
have
there's
no idea.
so many screwy things going on.
Well,
And then Shizzy Wisdom says, "What
You're
color is
welcome,
my shirt? It
everybody.
looks orange to me. I thought UGA was red. No, it is red. I mean, if it's orange to you, I'm sorry, but it is all red.
mhm.
I guarantee you, pickled tink."
Glad you guys enjoyed that.
And also, Pickled Tink has become a YouTube member. Welcome.
Yay.
Now, and Yamaha needs a good self-flagellation over or new glasses after Jay's juicy dreams.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh God, we're gonna have to go back and check that out.
He's ruined it.
If he's disturbed
Disgusting.
you, he's
He
disturbed
doesn't care.
Yamaha.
He doesn't care. He
That
doesn't
takes
give
a
a
lot.
shit.
That takes a lot.
Yeah.
It takes a lot to disturb Yamaha.
Totally ruined my day.
My favorite is when Yamaha throws the odd word and off key by humming to welcome to the shit show. I wish I could. It is. It's not working. It's not working.
Yeah.
I did create a new version of it. I don't know how well it'll sound. I can always give it a try. You want to hear what it sounds like?
Okay.
We'll see first, and if you guys like it, then I'll upload it. I created this the other day, and I'm not sure if it's gonna work or not. And of course, I'm still on the. Never mind. I won't talk about that. It's bad. Okay, let's see here. We'll remove that and share the screen so that way you guys can get it. And add to stage and do this. And this is the one I came up with. I still don't think it's quite hits the same way, but it's pretty good.
Welcome to the shit show. Every single day, a new flavor of fuckery. 'Cause everybody sucks, you see, and they're dumber than a bag of rocks. Monday, bullshit. Tuesday, bullshit. Wednesday, fuck. And then 4 more days of increasingly stupid, ridiculous, ignorant, balder, dash, poppycock, bollocks, and fuckery. And then we do it all over again.
Yeah. No.
I think I don't know, for me. I think the original, you can't beat the original.
No, you can't.
I think potentially for emergency cases such as this, that might be okay.
Yeah.
As
I mean,
as a stand-in, like
my
a pole dancer in the C group. It'll just have to fill in.
Well, see, my biggest concern is that's not my song. It's somebody else's song, and I'm concerned because if it being somebody else's song, there's a possibility that other owner at some point in time might make it where it becomes copyrightable, which means anytime that I've used it, I have to go back and cut that out,
right?
Or else they'll take anything that I've gotten away from.
Yeah.
So I have to come up with something that's going to be more unique. Damn it. And it sucks because that's such a great song. But not because I don't love you guys. Yeah, the original is still the best. It's a little more sophisticated. Yeah, I like I said, I would play the old one, but I don't have it up here, so I can't just pop it up there. It's one of those that I have embedded in my thing. Like there's no sound for it, so I can't do anything with it. It's weird. Everything's jacked up. My computer's just like I said. Love the surprise show. Well, thank you. No, it was and it's mainly because I was like, I really need to go over this stuff because next week is going to be crazy. Because you've got on the 22nd is whenever Lynette is supposed to show up for a hearing. Supposed to.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm not betting on that.
Well, I should probably put a poll up there because, and just run the poll because I'm thinking pretty much everybody's in the same position that you are as far as what they, of course, my sound.
But you never know. Third time's the charm. Am I by myself again?
No,
there you are.
You're good.
Third time, you never know though. It could be one of those weird. Third time could be the charm. You never know.
Okay, well, we'll see.
But I'm not betting my left nut on it.
Well, no, because you don't have one anymore.
I know. Just bet it away too many times. It's like a horrible rubber ball, but it bounces back.
show on the 22nd, and it's just a simple yes or no. And press and show, and yeah, and I mean, almost everybody will say yes or no. I mean, but it's one of those where you just can't, you know, if she shows up, she's probably going to be sanctioned. I mean,
and if she doesn't show up,
then she most
she
definitely
might
will be
jailed.
sanctioned. Yeah, I mean, that's just a hearing. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly is going to happen in that. I mean, it's saying that, and then of course, on the 29th, she has another hearing. Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, yeah.
see, I lose track of this. I mean, I sit here and I, bang away on my, well, I play with my leather, and or I'm doing other things. I'll be on the other side of the shop and I've got my speakers on. I hear these things. I don't write this shit down. So at this point, it's become so convoluted. It's hard to keep track of whatever. So I just jump in there. Everybody sees it. I just jump in there and make my stupid little jokes or comments or whatever. But I don't retain this shit. There's just too much.
Love them.
Too much to remember with this stuff.
Well, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
I mean, there really is too much.
And this is where it gets weird. Is getting more and more so. And I brought this up, I think, yesterday in Tug. Somebody said something, and I brought it up as a point that this is something that we discussed here about a year or so ago.
Yeah.
Where just keep an eye out, just eat your popcorn, because you're watching the death throes, and it's just going to get worse and worse, and things are going to get crazier, and we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I'm showing right here. It's audio visual deposition on the 22nd. And this is the same thing that he put out there.
Okay.
Court reporter, Zoom videographer, name are to be determined and shall be provided before the deposition. They usually do that because they have to make sure that somebody's there and they don't know who that person is going to be. It's one of those where it may just be the court reporter and have somebody that works the Zoom. It could be the judge that works the Zoom, and that's who they consider. Or the examination is being taken for the purpose of discovery for use at trial, or both for the foregoing or for such other purposes permitted under the applicable and governing rules. The deposition may continue from hour to hour or day to day until completed, October 29th at 9 a.m. That's it. I mean, and it says where it is. It says the deposition will be recorded by stenographic audio-visual means if an interpreter is needed because you're too stupid to understand what is being said. Then please advise us at least 5 days prior to the scheduled deposition in case you're going deaf or something like that. I hereby certify that sent that all out. Did it according to the judicial rules 2.51 via the portal to Michelle Preston Pro Se at the email addresses for the same registered address with the portal. And now I would hope that if she decides that she can't do this on the 29th, that she tries to do something before the 29th and file something so they can reschedule it. This is
the problem with allowing her to do this by Zoom yet again, in my opinion.
Right.
It might be funny to us sitting back, from the outside of it. However, all it's going to end up doing is just causing more delay. It's just going to end up causing a bigger problem.
It makes it harder for her to turn down Zoom.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does. And see, that's the thing is this is being done in front of the court. That's the thing. This deposition is happening in front of the judge.
Right. But that's why I think that it should just be in person.
You need a video.
Because in front of the judge or not, I think, I mean, it's more than like it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah.
It's going to go sideways real quick. You should probably put up a poll as to how quickly will this go sideways? Within the first 2 minutes? Within the first 5 minutes?
You have to have the deposition first before that happens. And that's the thing, is just getting her to the hearings or the depositions. And that's been a problem with them all along. Like they've done things and then they're not held accountable for it. But I think this judge, this is another one of Judge Grabe, whatever. That it's another one of his cases. So I have a feeling that if she f's around long enough, that this judge is going to be like, you know.
So I think I got
what's going on.
sidelined by the horrible image of what's going to take place on that day in my head, and I wasn't really paying. Like I said, I don't write this shit down. So, state it again: is she actually appearing in person, or is she appearing on Zoom, but in front of the judge that the Zoom hearing will take place?
Well, this one is taking place in the hearing room B. It says this is pursuant to undersigned attorney will take into deposition upon oral examination of Michelle, a court reporter, and Zoom a videographer name are to be determined and shall be provided before the deposition. The oral examination is taken for the purpose of discovery for use at trial, for both the foregoing or for such other purposes as permitted under applicable governing rules. Deposition may continue from hour to hour or day to day until completed. And it says it just says it's going to be recorded. That doesn't state whether she's required to be there or not. It does have a Zoom link on there. So I'm assuming that she has the option of showing up in person or doing it by Zoom. Now, I mean, if it were me and I were in her position, my ass would be showing up to court, because that way you can get information straight from the judge, and you can see all the evidence or whatever that they're trying to ask you questions about. And there's no debating it. Also, that way you can
She can be more easily controlled too.
Well, no, I mean,
to a certain degree.
No, you can't be. It's actually hard. It's easier to control someone on Zoom because if they start misbehaving, you can just mute them. Whatever these.
Well, but what I'm saying is, if she's right there in person and she starts acting a fool, and the court finds her in contempt right then and there.
Oh, well, they can still do that over Zoom.
Right, I understand that, but it's just much easier in person. I think it would alleviate, if nothing else, just the microscope of the situation, and it's in containment. It's easier when you have somebody right there.
Yeah.
Because you see that. You see that all the time. I mean, you guys, I'm not really into necessarily doing that, but you see the same shit with, the Sov Sid or whatever, a lot of these other court trials. That's been one of the big things that we've talked about before that came out of the Koof crap, was all these Zoom court cases, and so many of them have just turned into fiascos.
Yes.
It's just made a joke.
Well, and I do hope that at some point in time that they really get some of their crap worked out. Now, the other thing that I wanted to look into, and this has to do with a lot of the BS that I've been hearing the little with the Hales ecosystem bitch and moan about. And this is about showing video clips, okay? And putting those out there and breaking them down and showing them and understanding what exactly, is going on or what somebody else is saying. Like the defamation, the vile things that they've said, the lies, that stuff right there. I really started looking at it, and it is one of those where you start going down that rabbit hole, and you're just like, why are they flipping their shit so much about J-Hip? Like, seriously, what is the point of them losing their shit over J-Hip? He's actually, I think he's getting close to 4,000. If you guys haven't subbed up to him, make sure that you do. Because get this guy some.
Fuck that guy! Fuck no! I unsubscribed from him. He ruined my. He
made your balls shrivel.
I know some people talk about that. I think he is funny.
No, he is, and that's what I'm saying is, and it doesn't have to be everybody's cup of tea, but he does it in such a way that just just makes me piss myself laughing whenever I hear her
Right.
talking.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh man, no, you should. Jay makes them look bad. No, Jay doesn't do anything about making them look bad. He just exposes them for what they are. If they look bad, that is on them, and that is the whole point of this. If you don't want to look bad, stop looking bad.
Exactly.
You know?
Well, and the other thing, it's not just that. It's this whole idea that I've heard either in clips or, seen other people in chat, or you or Megan or Tug or whomever else. The flea thinks that she's the end all be all, that she should have the final word of the day, apparently.
Okay.
Where, I cover what everybody, whether it's Jeremy Hales or whomever else, I cover all them at the end of the day. I do mine at the end of the night. And so she apparently thinks that should be the end of it. There should be no further discussion, and nobody's allowed to critique her or talk about her bullshit. But then what happens the next morning? Who comes on? It's just Jay, or it's Rosalind, or whomever else in their lineup happens to go throughout the day talking about her stupid shit. And the lies and the bullshit and the covering and the flip-flopping and the omissions and all that stuff. It's the same freaking thing. But yet, according to her, that's harassment. That's bullying. That's whatever else is floating around in that enormous empty grape of hers.
It really is. It's like this perpetual
mind-boggling
of stupidity.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling. It really is. The hypocrisy is just wow.
I mean, and the stuff that I was hearing coming out of their mouths, I was like, you realize, they don't really tend to think before they open up that gaping maw of theirs. But here's the thing: whenever
Except when she's sucking down chicken skin.
Do not mess with me. Do not mess with me and start going after my channel. What do they do?
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that they do is they tell people to go out there and attack Megan and Tug's channel. The first thing that they do.
Right. Yeah.
By posting the link up there, if you feel so desired and you think it's breaking TOS, then report them. They're not breaking TOS. It doesn't matter what you think or what you feel. No. And this is why they're so dangerous in what they're doing by doing that kind of crap. Yeah. I mean, it's a garbage move by garbage people.
Well, part of it is that they're soy dripping feelings based. You can't just sit there and say that, it's mocking, it's making fun of, it's harassing, it's commentary. Yeah. People do it all over the place.
Yes.
So they play a few seconds of it, and then they sit there and they make their own comments or what have you, their own intakes, whatever it may be.
Right.
And then they go on and play it again. It's fair fucking use. Get used to it.
Exactly.
It's the same shit that we don't do this, or we don't say that, or we don't. Yeah, you do.
No, I will say, no, actually, they don't. And the reason I say this is because if they did, the bullshit that they're spewing out of their mouths every single time they're saying that they're critiquing something, it would be shown that they're actually full of shit and they're lying. That's why they don't do any of that. Why they don't.
Oh, well, I'm not necessarily talking about showing. I'm just talking about, the shit that people say or whatever they view as.
Oh, yeah. I'm saying the reason that we show these kinds of things. Shit. The reason why we show these things and we show these clips and we discuss them is because it's a very important part of the story to show you the receipts. That's the problem is they will never do for their audiences. They will never show the receipts of exactly what's happening. Same reason they won't show the receipts of where they spent the money, how much money was spent, where it went, because in her fucked up mind, it all came to her. And anybody else that tries to touch that kind of money must be evil and trying to destroy her. Just asking for receipts. She reminds me of those assholes that used to come into like retail stores with like a whole bunch of DVDs that they burned and copied, open DVDs, and then to go, I need to return these because they just didn't work. It's like, but do you see our return policy here says you can't return them, but then they would sit there and yell and scream and throw a fit that you were being biased against them because they were too fat to know any better. And how do you expect them to read all these massive rules that they have up there? Well, that's what I can read. I mean, it's just excuse after excuse after excuse.
Well, if it comes down to it, I mean, she can paint up that pile of bullshit any color she wants.
Yeah,
it comes down to it. I guarantee you, whether it's bench trial, jury, whatever, judge and or jury will see it for exactly what it was. They raised money. She, in particular, raised money and kept the money, took money in, regardless of what monetary form it was in, gift cards, whatever it was, in the name of Lynette Preston and that child.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. That's exactly what happened.
Oh, yeah. And you know,
that'll be the very foundation of it.
And I would say somebody's got a tight leash on Lynette, because in any other situation, I mean, think about this. How many times has she posted, you guys have done such horrible things, yet she hasn't made a single move against them. Now, if it was Jeremy, on the other hand, she is quick to file the most vile, horrible shit, non-true and crap like that. And you're just there going, what in the hell? You'll go after somebody that's done absolutely nothing to you except for exposure bullshit, and then the people that actually took money out of your pocket, you won't even lift a finger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's sitting there going, well, we reported it to the police. That's not how you go about doing that, dumbass.
Well, and it's not chump change. So, I mean, to some people it may be.
It's more money than she's ever going to see from Jeremy.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah. Well, she already owes money.
Yeah, that's what I'm
she
saying.
hasn't paid on it. So.
I mean, I heard them talking about something about 19 cases that Jeremy's involved in.
Oh my God! Yeah.
But they were
okay.
saying,
So
but here's the wording that they used. Here's the wording that they used. That Jeremy has caused 19 cases.
No.
Okay. That Jeremy is the one behind every single one of them.
No.
And I have to disagree, because the thumbnail case, he wasn't behind that. The trespass case, he wasn't behind that. He's not even in that case. Granger's, he's not involved in that case. He's not involved he wasn't involved in any of the other cases that were going on that I know of all the other bullshit, like, what is it, Nisharian, Dinesh, all that kind of stuff. He's not involved in that fucking case. I mean, how, you know, and then you look and you go, well, how many lawsuits is Lips involved in? Currently, Lips and Chips combined are in well over that many cases.
Yeah, when you take everybody, yeah. And those are, and here's the point. This is where the flea lies and obfuscates in order to fit their narrative. Exactly. 19 no. You have, however many, each one of those is not its own separate case. You have co-defendants, and that can happen in civil or criminal trials. You have co-defendants, but you have specific case numbers. So they're not individual cases. So that is a lie, yet again. But she points it that way to try and fit their narrative.
Yes.
Because she's got a bunch of morons that sit there and gobble up the bullshit that she spews out and then asks for seconds.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
These are not individual cases. Each
are
separate case is their own separate case as far as for the case number. Yes.
Right.
But it is not 19 or whatever fucking numbers floating around in her grape. They are not separate cases. They're just co-defendants.
Right. Yeah.
Into whichever case it may be applicable, because there's some, like you said, some in one that's not in another, or vice versa.
Rickles says, stop using cookie sense, logic, and facts.
Yeah.
Well,
right?
and you know, at some point, I may go into a little bit today. I understand the tactics behind all the bullshit that's going on. You know, and I'm not talking about with Jeremy. Jeremy's fighting a fight that sucks right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And, you know, part of that, I would say is somewhat self-inflicted, because he's one that did bring these cases against people. It's and with reason. I mean, he could have walked away and let it go, but still, he is involved in these cases. There's very specific cases that he's involved in, and I understand why he's doing it, because they're ruining his business. Like, not just a little bit, they're ruining his business by the kind of crap that they're pulling and the kind of stuff that they're doing.
Well, and it goes back to what we've pointed out before. Where does it all stem from? The lies that they keep trying to spin about, it comes from Lynette Preston and John Cook. That's where it all started.
But I don't think it does. I mean, the initial part does, but I think there's something else going on behind all of this.
Oh, it could be. Who knows? But I mean, as far as for the very outset of it and how this was all coming down.
Well, and I think that people are using that. Yeah. They're using that to prolong all of this stuff.
Exactly. Well, they're doing they're doing the very thing that they've been trying to blame Jeremy for all along, and that they're just trying to protract it and just put it, just keep pushing it out and pushing. I mean, Bubble sat there, about however long ago it was, and sat there and laughed about the fact that he got this, whichever case, I can't even keep track of them, whichever case it was, that he got delayed for another 5 months.
Yes.
They're the ones doing this shit.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to go to court. I can't wait till I get served. Oh, my God. I'm gonna get in there. I'm going to show them all my evidence. Oh, good Lord, it's a process server. And then she waddles her fat ass to hide in the garage.
Yeah, all of them have. All of them have run into him.
They've all done that.
Like, I can't wait to get in there, and I'm going to show all the evidence that I have. Well, if you're so anxious to get in there, show all this evidence that you have, you should be, as soon as you knew that lawsuit was happening, you should have turned around and said, here you go. Yep. Here's my email address. Let me file electronically. And, so that way we can speed this process up, because I cannot wait to get your ass in court. No. But instead they have run, they have hid, they've made up absolute bullshit excuses. Yeah. They've run this case like an insane long
Well, that's
time.
part of the problem. Some of them sit there and they talk about, oh my God, my evidence this, my evidence that.
They don't have any evidence.
What you think is evidence, I guarantee you the vast majority of it is going to be shit canned by the court and not even allowed. It's not going to be introduced.
Yes.
Because it's not going to be viewed as it's just like some of the filings these idiots have been doing.
Correct.
Throwing in shit that has nothing to do. How is this specific to your case? All the superfluous bullshit that you put in here. Maybe the first page or two has something to do with you, but the rest of the 56 pages that you threw in there have nothing to do with you or your case at hand. It's talking about somebody else or involving somebody else or half a dozen other people that have nothing to do with you.
Which brings me to something that I wanted to share with some people here. And have you ever heard of Heavy D Sparks?
I was going to mention something about that earlier.
Well, a lot of people,
I can't remember what almost brought that up.
Now, somebody else sent this to me and said, "Hey, have you seen this?"
For the amount of time in the filings, that's why I was going to say something earlier.
Right.
Yeah.
So somebody else showed this to me. They actually emailed me and said, "Hey, you might want to look at this and maybe talk about it." And I was just like, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to give a little shout out to this guy, because it is absolutely insane. Give me just a second. I'm going to pull this up, and I'm going to share it with you guys, and we're going to probably skip through a good portion of it, but there's some important things in here, things that he was saying, and it doesn't track with every single thing, but it does bring up some pretty interesting facts. And give me just a second while I go in here and open this in a new tab, because what I want to do is I want to make sure that his channel gets some more traction. I mean, dude's got over 4 million subs, but I want him to be able to not come back and give me a strike or some shit like that. So give me a second and I'll put it in there as soon as I can.
And
Because
hello to everybody I've missed. Hello. How are you?
it is so good to see you, Yami. You know that. It's unbelievable. Let me get this in here because I want to make sure that I don't need the guy giving me some sort of strike or something for using his stuff. So I want to make sure that it's in there. And let's see. Because I think if he saw this, he would go, God, this is the same thing that these people were doing to me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's I mean, why is it doing that? And I'll just copy the video here. That'll make it a little bit easier. Copy, because this will actually put the video in there. There we go. Why did that do that? No, do changes. See, I'm always running like 10 feet behind or something.
No, you're okay.
And save.
Well, let's see here.
Okay, here we go. All right. Like I said, I just want to make sure that it's in there before I show this to you guys. And I'll probably stop it in a few times as it's going through because there's a few things that are really important to note here. And this how ruined this guy got after 9 years.
Mr. Reed Zars, Dr. Brian Monk, and everyone else at the UPHE. You crossed a line you can't uncross. You wrongfully stole my freedom and tarnished my good name. And now, I will pursue accountability in every forum until this can never happen to anyone else. Because even though I'm vindicated, I'm nowhere near done.
Now, if you don't know who Heavy D Sparks is, everyone, Heavy D is a mechanic, I guess is the best way to put it. Okay. Now he had some issues with the EPA, and some attorneys that got involved in it. Now, see, this is where it became really, really messed up. Let me back it up here. Now, he was thrown in jail. Okay. And the reason he was thrown in jail was for contempt of court. But the contempt of court isn't what you would think it would be. Love Heavy D. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't contempt of court that he got wasn't for what you think it would be. He got it because of the shenanigans of an attorney.
A cell by myself with some of the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
Yep. You see, this was a civil case, one that's been dragging on for almost 9 years. And yesterday, before we all left a hearing, the judge himself told everyone this should have never happened. I walked in with wrist and ankle cuffs and walked out vindicated. But this story goes way beyond me, because what's happening here exposes a broken system that can be used to punish people even when they've done almost everything right. This is no attack on the judge or the court, who I actually believe is a brilliant and well-reasoned man that does his best with the information presented to him. But that's the problem. This is a story about bad actors, the UPHE and its lawyers, and bad law. Now let's go to the beginning. This all started back in 2017 when I and a handful of my companies got sued by a group called Utah Physicians for Healthy Environment, or UPHE. So you need to understand that the UPHE is made up of a bunch of doctors who are also activists and environmentalists. The group is led by a doctor named Brian Monk. He is a very passionate man about the environment, and he is constantly out at rallies and protests and different events. On one hand, I can respect he wants the environment to be better and cleaner just like all of us, but on the other hand, unfortunately, I cannot respect the way that he's gone about trying to enforce this. But the way they do this is they use an attorney, and they use the same attorney, or at least they have for a very long time, named Reed Zars from Laramie, Wyoming. Reed's Reed. That's all I can say about it. Reed doesn't like me very much, and we've had just a real wild relationship over the past 9 years as he's been trying really hard to basically destroy my life. Now,
Does that sound familiar?
Well, in my opinion, for all these people, I don't care what their titles are.
Right.
My opinion is these are perfect examples of what you would call environmentalist terrorists.
Yes.
There's a big difference in wanting to keep an area clean, to do things in a good way for your environment, whether it's even in hunting. Some of the biggest proponents of environmentalism, if you will, or activism in that sense, are hunters.
Yes.
Because they want the populations to stay well.
And,
but
they
individuals
also don't
like
want it,
this,
they don't want it overpopulated, because if
Right.
it becomes overpopulated, then they destroy all of the land, and then you have a drastic decline in what's sustainable.
right. And so doing it in a responsible way. But when they are twisting laws that may initially have had, we see this in a lot of aspects with things. They initially started out with good intention, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. And then when they're twisting it around to just make money off of that, to catch anybody and everybody they can up in, they're, in my opinion, again, they're environmental terrorists.
Oh,
Plain
and then
simple.
we'll get to what he does, because this is more about what happened with him. I mean, and it's really it flows in the same vein of exactly what's been happening with Jeremy.
You need to understand that Reed essentially built this lawsuit off of social media. He would sit there and watch social media. He would watch our TV show, Diesel Brothers, and pretty much anywhere else that he could find me. And he would basically take what he found there and use it in his court case against me. Years ago, I put a
Sound familiar?
Mhm.
Sounds really familiar, doesn't it? Got that little child that's just sitting there watching every single thing that people are saying, every single thing that they're doing to try to use it in a court case against them.
a picture of a really
Cutting
cool
it
house
up
that I
and
liked. Wasn't mine, didn't own it, had nothing to do with it. On the stand, he said, "Whose house is this? Where'd you get the money to pay for it? And how come we didn't know about it?" And I was like, "It's not mine. It's just a post that I made." And that was a common theme throughout this whole lawsuit. So one of the funniest stories along this whole journey was when Reed decided that I post on Facebook, so I must get paid by Facebook. And he wanted to get access to that money that they were paying me.
Sound familiar? He does things on YouTube, so YouTube must be paying him. It's not how it works. That's not how YouTube works. Of course, they don't know this, but this is hilarious. This story?
Which they weren't. And so he called Meta and basically said, "Hey, I'm an attorney. I want to garnish this account. You need to send all his money to me." And they're like, "Sir, no. Like, first of all, that's not how this works. Second of all, he's not in our system. Third of all, we're not paying him. Fourth of all, we can't give you any more information." He took a trip down to Meta headquarters, and in a court filing, which I'll show you proof of right here, he documents exactly what he did on this trip. He went to Meta. He tried to get in. He knocked on all the doors were all locked. So in this court briefing explaining his trip, he says, "I waited around outside, couldn't get in, and then I strategically timed my entrance into the building at the same time as the exit of an employee, AKA he snuck in. Somebody opened the door and he found his way in, went to the front desk and said, 'I'm here to collect Dave Sparks' money. I need you to provide me with all this information, blah, blah, blah.'" And they were like, "Sir, no." And even if I was in their system getting paid, that's not how it works. They weren't going to do it. And then he goes in, further into this brief, and he says, "It was at that point that I was then escorted out of the facility by 3 security guards, but not before Facebook offered him an opportunity." I really wish he would have done this, or I wish I had the picture, but they offered him the opportunity to take a selfie in front of the Facebook sign. He included all of this in his court brief that he submitted, basically to be used against me. Now, the reason I'm
There are shitbag attorneys all over the place. And they do all this kind of shit.
It wasn't bank robbery, Your Honor. It was just strategic redistribution of funds.
Yeah. But it gets really bad for this, because what he did with that.
telling you the story is because remember how I told you that he was doing all sorts of stuff along the way to try to get at me and basically running the billing clock at the same time. So all of his efforts I was paying for. So I paid for or was billed for Reed going to Meta headquarters, sneaking in, trying to basically extort them for money that they don't pay me, and was then escorted out of the facility. And I don't know if he ever took the selfie, but if he did, honestly, I would have been tempted to be way more cooperative with his extortion if he would have just filmed his whole journey to Meta and back, because that honestly is one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And that's honestly probably just about the only funny part of this whole story. The rest of it sucks. When they sued us back in January of 2017, their first demand right out the gate was stop doing the deletes, stop doing the videos, stop doing anything that's hurting the environment. And we said, okay, we already pretty much are complying with all of that even before you did this lawsuit. So great, we're good with that. And then they said, give us $1 and we'll go away. Up front.
Ooh, sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, just give us money and we'll go away.
That happened. That's exactly what happened with Jeremy. That's exactly what happened with DUI guy.
Yeah,
That's
just pay us money and we'll go away.
That's exactly.
Or you could look at it in the same thing. Oh, take down what would be considered your fair use or your humor, your satire, whatever that hurts our feelings, and then that'll just be the end of it. Of course, it wasn't. But
No, it wasn't. It was not at all.
I knew that was going to be a lie.
For a lawsuit for
Hey,
activities that we were no longer even doing. I thought this was about compliance. I thought this was about making the environment better. How does me paying dollars to an out-of-state attorney make Utah's environment any better? I'll give you a hint. It doesn't. It wasn't just me that they sued. In fact, they've been doing this for several years. And
Well, it's the
list
same
that's
thing that they
publicly
do
available
under
online
the
is
guise
well over
of
20.
kids. Oh, this law. Oh, well, it's about the children. Whether it's this new online safety bullshit or whatever else. Well, it's about the kid. It's never about the kids.
No. And look at these.
They put it under
these,
that guise.
These are the people that they've sued. Then some of them they're in active litigation with. Diesel Power LLC, 4x4 Anything, B&W LLC, Auto David Sparks, Joshua Stewart, Keaton Hoskins, Harley Davidson, Northern Utah Power Sports, Joseph L. Timmons, Utah Inland Port Authority, Spencer J. Cox, J. Stewart Adams, Mike Schultz, Utah Department of Natural Resources, Utah Division of Water Rights, Utah Division of Forestry, U.S. Bureau of Land Management, Surface Transportation Board, United States of America, and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. This now you laugh because they don't have a chance of actually winning in any of these cases. But the lawyers are doing this kind of stuff. There's a reason why they keep saying, "Oh, we're going to sue YouTube. We're going to sue Rumble. We're going to sue everybody. We're going to sue everybody." That's the same kind of bullshit that they're doing. Oh, I didn't know that, Roxanne. So that's your governor, Spencer J. Cox. Yeah, so that is what they're doing. It is, and all that they're doing is they're racking up those bills that may never ever even get paid.
Well, and even then, somewhere along the lines, you start throwing out anybody and everybody under the sun. You're going to get a payout somewhere along the lines,
right? And
because you come along with exactly. They'll just be like, okay, fine, whatever. Sign an NDA, blah 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 blah. We admit no guilt to anything, but here's $500,000 or $1 million.
Well, that's what they tried to do with Larry.
Yeah,
I mean, Bruce came in and was just like you're going to have to pay me $494,000, and I won't sue you. That's extortion.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of times it's the insurance companies, because if you don't go along with what the insurance I'll fight it. And the insurance company says, no, you won't fight it or we'll drop you.
Right.
And we're going to pay it out anyway.
Yep.
So that's what they do.
Yep.
20 different people and entities, and realistically, it's way longer than that once you start digging into court records and different things like that. And the craziest part to me is the fact that after they sued me, they followed along and saw the different partners and sponsors and companies that I worked with, and they sued them as well.
Yep.
They sued me under the Clean Air Act, claiming that around 20 trucks and a few aftermarket parts we sold years earlier violated emissions laws. They alleged that those trucks caused more than $114 million in environmental damage under just the Utah law. You see, the problem with that is that's almost $5 million per truck. most of which were low use, show vehicles, or off-road vehicles, competition use, and to make sure the world knew about it, they launched a massive media blitz before I even had a chance to respond to the initial lawsuit. Within 24 hours, headlines were everywhere. National, international, local. They plastered my name, my face, my company all over the news and social media. They even used random clips from the internet of people blowing black smoke, footage that had nothing to do with me or my team, but they used it to make us look reckless. That one media stunt has followed me for years and cost us countless business opportunities. And
that's right there.
Bingo. Yep.
And that right there is where it becomes difficult to do anything about it. And you have to understand this is a guy that has a much bigger following, a much bigger business than Jeremy has. Okay. Much bigger. And whenever he was first starting out in his YouTube stuff, he had hardly anybody watching him. But he's built his brand, his business, everything. And for 9 years, this guy has not been able to talk about it at all.
And partnerships. And the truth is, that was just the beginning. Keep in mind, this is not the EPA bringing the case. In fact, the EPA declined to take this case because it was so small, it wasn't a priority for them. I have a great relationship with the EPA. I'm going to tell you two things. Number one, I'm not perfect. And number two, at my core, I'm a small business owner just like many of you. Now, as to number one, I'll never profess to be perfect, not even close. I also don't hide from my mistakes, and instead I seek to be a fallible person that learns from those mistakes and falls forward. So yes, I made some mistakes early on in my career. Mind you, I was sued for conduct in 2012, which was basically me working out of a garage as a 20-year-old something for a short time. I thought rolling coal was cool. I'm a huge diesel fan, but I am not a fan of intentionally blowing black smoke straight out of the tailpipe or the stacks. I love and care about our environment. I really do. My happy place is out in the wilderness, and I honestly didn't realize that buying a vehicle at an auction, which a lot of times is a mystery bag that was deleted, violated the Clean Air Act. I do care, which is why you guys see us over the last 5 years on YouTube constantly working to make this state and all of the surrounding states a better place by providing nonprofit efforts to, pull vehicles and boats and equipment off of public lands and clean up public lands, all the way to, recovering deceased loved ones off the top of mountains that nobody else could get to. We care, and we put our money where our mouth is by doing the actual work, instead of going after other people, taking their money and claiming that we're doing it in the name of the environment. That's the difference, and that's what separates us from the UPHE.
And
they took a bunch of stuff up to that guy. I forget what it is. The ghost town guy. They took a bunch of their equipment up there and helped him rebuild that ghost town.
Yeah.
Too. Up in the mountains.
Dragging
all that shit out there.
The amount of goodwill that they've done towards people, and it's also another thing to note that one of the offers that they made was to go fix all these people's cars that were failing emissions, like get their emissions straightened out for free, like underprivileged people, that couldn't afford to do it. And just to get that check engine light off, make sure that it was EPA compliant. And they offered to do this and it was turned down.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, no matter what they were trying to do, it wasn't about that. It was about destroying this guy's business, his company. Yep. Take down his YouTube empire, as someone has liked to put it.
Mm-hmm.
I also had a website called 4x4 Anything that connected to a parts bin of third-party providers, and I didn't even realize we were selling defeat parts on that website. When we were sued, I walked in the front door and admitted we were wrong. I didn't try to hide from it. Not only that, but I immediately took down the offerings of emissions defeat parts from our webpage even before getting sued. All in all, we sold a total of 164 emissions defeat parts inadvertently before I realized the mistake and removed the listing, and crazy enough, offered the original buyers 200% of their purchase price as a refund if they would send the parts back. And in fact, we got some, but not all of the parts back. I offered to fix countless of emission systems for free to low-income families.
Yeah.
I grew up poor. I know the pain a check engine light can inflict to a family that is really just getting by. I figured, let's do some good for our neighbors in our community here in Utah and agree to fix broken emission systems and to educate the general public about air quality. The proposal was outright rejected by the doctors. They didn't even consider it. So much for a win-win-win. The point is, I was trying. As to the second point, I'm still a small business owner. Back then, in 2012, I was in my business diapers. The court found the two main businesses that were sold made $118,000 and $271,000 in profits in total. We had a lot of mouths to feed at the time with $400,000 per year in profit. You can imagine how scary a threat of $114 million was to a small business owner just getting started. At first, the judge ruled primarily in UPHE's favor, but gave them nothing close to the $117 million they asked for. We're grateful the judge considered the mitigating factors, but this was still a lot of money for a small business owner. The judge accepted their claims as if every single truck or part, no matter where it was used, violated Utah law, and the doctors had standing under the Constitution to bring the claims. But we didn't stop there. We appealed to the 10th Circuit Court. And the appellate court, thankfully, took a closer look. They ruled that under the US Constitution, I could only be held liable for trucks or parts that were actually used or operated right here in Utah where the claims were brought against me. That ruling reduced the penalty significantly, which made it perfect sense. If something happened out of state, it shouldn't count against a Utah business. But here's where it gets even crazier. Even though the appellate court drastically reduced the scope of the case, the attorney's fees didn't go down at all. In fact, they went up because the appellate court kept parts of the original ruling in place. UPHE's lawyers were still considered the prevailing party, even though they didn't win as much as they originally thought they did. And under this specific environmental statute, if they win even 1% of a case, they can demand 100% of their attorney's fees. It's insane. Total federal penalties landed around $550,000, but under their complaint, they could have received $114 million. So the doctors lost 99% of their claims, but still got treated like they won the whole thing. That's how upside down this law is. In normal court, the prevailing party only gets fees based upon what they win. Over the years, I have tried...
Unless they sign something else that states otherwise.
Right.
But now you understand where this ties in of, I see the bullshit that they're trying to pull.
desperately to comply with all of their demands. And their list of demands and paperwork requests and discovery requests and everything they've asked of from me has become a full-time job, not only for me, but for multiple people within my organization. They required a list of every transaction that myself, any of my partners, any of my companies, or anybody affiliated with me had made to anyone for any reason in the amount of $5,000 or more, dating all the way back to 2020. Listen, I don't care how big of a company you are, even Fortune 500 companies don't keep that level of accounting. Now let me explain to you another reason why producing all of this paperwork was not just hard, but damn near impossible. We have had the same in-house accountant here for all of my businesses. Her name was Christy Manwaring, just a beautiful woman. We loved her. She was a part of the family, part of the team for years, and she knew everything about our finances. Like, she handled all of our books, all of our accounting, all of our payroll, everything. Well, unfortunately, in December of 2024, almost a year ago, Christy suddenly died of congestive heart failure. Kind of came out of nowhere and boom, just took her from us. And that wasn't great because obviously she was very special and close to us, but also she had kind of the keys to all of our stuff, all of our books, all of our balance sheets, all of our finances. And they were all on her computer, which none of us had a password to. And unfortunately, the way that she had organized things wasn't as clean as we would have hoped. But the reality was there were certain things that we just couldn't ever get access to. We don't know where she kept them or if she kept them at all. When that happened, Reed basically accused us of withholding information. We're like, no, here, like, come look. This is why I invited them to come to the office and go through everything with me and see if they had any better ideas. But we provided everything we possibly could. So when the compliance thing kind of became a big issue, meaning they were going to the court and basically accusing us of just ignoring all of their requests and saying that we weren't doing anything to try to like fulfill what they were asking for us, I realized that we had a major problem and there was a major disconnect and breakdown of communication between us, the UPHE, their attorneys, the court, and the judge. So essentially what I did recently to try to resolve that, I invited the UPHE and their attorneys to my shop, to my...
And now, and see, this is something else I wanted to point out here too, is one of the reasons that they've gone for discovery against Lynette, and that discovery was basically they told the court to screw off, that we're not going to provide anything. They've already done that. They said we're not going to provide anything, although there's by their own admissions, there's plenty of evidence there. He was willing to show them every single thing. Here's every single device. Here's every computer. Here's every single piece of paperwork. What they were doing is they were basically running up attorney's fees, asking for the same thing that they already had in their possession. That's the big difference. So if you ever hear of the fleas sitting there going, well, we don't have anything, that's bullshit, because it's already been proven by their own words that they have copies of every single thing. Multiple times they've said this. The fleas have said it. Lynette said it over and over and over again, that they have copies of it. And that stuff will be brought up in court. And this is why they're fighting so hard to stay out of court, because of the information that they have that was supposed to be turned over, that they refused to turn over. John, get away from the window. I played the
My office, to my home, to my cabin. I invited them here to be able to look through the books with me, look at the vehicles that they had in question, look at the properties, look at everything that they've been asking about for years that I was unable to produce any more documentation on, so they could come see for themselves. The reason why I did this was to be totally compliant. I'm still trying to run a business, trying to build a brand, trying to raise a family, trying to take care of my mental, physical, and spiritual health. All of that on top of hours and hours and hours of document production every single week. It becomes impossible, but we have tried our very best, which is what the judge finally started to see this last Thursday. Let me be clear. This has never been about me refusing to comply. Never. We've already made large payments, hundreds of thousands of dollars directly to the US Treasury and the EPA to satisfy the federal portion of the judgment. We have some relatively low penalties outstanding, but for the most part, we've met those obligations. To my knowledge, none of this money has been spent or will ever be spent to improve Utah's air quality. But what has been happening ever since is something completely different.
Hey, Phil.
The fight over attorney's fees. The attorney's fees claimed by the doctors ended up being around 300% of the actual penalty.
Yep.
Because once UPHE's lawyers realized the law let them collect unlimited fees, it turned into a blank check. At first, we had 2 law firms involved against us.
2.
Then it turned into a feeding frenzy of multiple lawyers from 4 different law firms trying to collect on this judgment,
4.
all billing their own separate hours and fees. They could keep filing motions, dragging the case out, and tacking on more and more fees. We're up to 522 filings. My lawyer says this is the single largest docket they have ever seen, and it should be because it's going for 9 years. Guys.
And let me put this into perspective. 522 filings over 9 years. Now, think about this. There is over 534 filings in a case that's been going on for less than 3. And if you want to know where that's coming from, it's coming from paint chip. There's over 530 filings in one court case. These are the kind of people that Jeremy...
Well, and Bubbles. I mean, he got the ball rolling on all this too. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that one in less than 2 years they've got over 200 filings. And just in Fed 1, there's over 200 filings in that case. That's 100 filings a year. And I mean, but. And all it's doing is just trying to rack up problems.
For years, we've been trying to reach a fair settlement, something reasonable that reflects the reality of what happened, but they have never shown good faith. In fact, we had court-ordered mediation once, and the doctors didn't make a single offer to settle. But then again, why would they? Every motion they file means more fees they can demand, and every time they file one, they send out another press blitz to the media, and it just turns into this cycle of profit and publicity, with me being the only one to pay for it.
Yep.
Now listen, I gotta give huge credit where it's due to my attorney, Cole Cannon. Cole is a very powerful and very smart attorney, and he's an excellent litigator. What that means is when you go to trial and you need somebody to speak on your behalf to the judge, to the court, if there's a jury, he's speaking to them, you need somebody who can articulate very well, who can communicate a message very effectively. And Cole said one of the most powerful lines I've ever heard in my hearing on Thursday.
And it's what is it with these lazy pieces of shit that go after these people that have busted their asses to be successful because they don't know how to do it themselves. They don't have any skill themselves. Now, I'll say this is Bubbles could easily be one of the greatest of fucking attorneys ever, but he's used that to attack and destroy people instead of trying to help people. Paint Chips got his ass thrown in prison over using his ability on things that if he would have been on the up and up, could have been a very successful business. But he got his ass thrown in prison because he wanted to go the easy route. And that you have to understand that people that are out there busting their asses and doing things are not taking the easy route. You know, you'll see it time and time again. People that are out there putting in the time, putting in the effort, doing the work constantly. You'll have these people that don't do the time, don't put in the work, that get jealous of that time and effort and energy put in, and they will do everything they can, not to promote them, not to make sure that they succeed, because it helps everybody out whenever they're successful. They're so jealous and so envious and so angry that these people have become successful and they have not. There's a reason why Bubbles has gone after Larry, after the DUI guy, because Larry has become very successful, not only in being an attorney in his field of practice, but also as someone that has done YouTube. They've become very successful and very well regarded. Okay, there's a lot of jealousy there of that. So the reason why they go after people like this is so they can destroy them, because they believe that they've been advantaged somehow, or they've done something to game the system, when all that they did was just make the right moves at the right time. It's the same way as being a musician or an actor. You know, some of the greatest actors just happen to be in the right place at the right time, said the right line, impressed the right person, sucked the right dick, or whatever it might be. They happened to be there at that particular time, and that's what allowed them to catapult into becoming more than just a B-level actor or musician. These people don't understand that, and they think that they did something remarkable that shouldn't have been allowed to happen, and they want to destroy them, and they will do everything they can to bring them down and destroy everything about them. You see it time and time again. I don't know what the reasoning behind it is. It might be jealousy, it could be envies, I don't know. But yeah, that is where they want to be. They see that these people, you know, it looks to them like it's easy money, but they don't realize the work that they're actually doing, because all they're seeing is just a small snippet of their life. You know, some of these people like crooked lawyers and doctors have so much money to have security because it's how busy using destroying people's business in courts as we pay judge wasted time. Yeah, he's absolutely right. Last order, she said, she shall appear in person. Zoom could be for Jeremy to attend. Hey, we'll see exactly. Well, no, there's two different things. It might be that she has to appear in person. Hey, Green Veggie Beast, appreciate you. Appreciate you. And all 844 of you wonderful people here, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you reach down there, hit the thumbs up, make it feel good. It does really good for the algorithm. And
are we like the only entertainment going on? Holy crap!
Am I entertainment? I don't know. I think I'm a special kind of, you know, bobbly wobbly that, you know, runs into walls and paints things, you know.
I'm starting to question some decision makings now.
Well, I mean, you put it out hot and heavy by going after Jay Hip and telling him how garbage he
Yeah. That little.
was. Trying to tear a hardworking man down. How dare you?
Yeah, whatever. Destroy my
He'll-
fantasies of Playboy.
Well,
My whole childhood gone to hell.
he'll bear with it. He'll bear with it. How's that? Dude, Venom, how you doing? Good to see ya. Venom.
Hey, everyone.
Just stopping in to say hi. Well, you can stay high. Just hit that thumbs up. It makes it feel really good. Like, share, subscribe, and join in the nuts. It's warm and moist in here.
Yeah.
Day when he said, Your Honor, Mr. Sparks does more good for the state of Utah in one single weekend than these doctors have done throughout their entire 9-year legal battle against him. And he's right. And I'm not here to toot my own horn. I'm not here to tell you guys that I'm the greatest and the best or that I'm perfect in any capacity. I'm here to tell you that I care about my community. I care about my state. I care about this same environment that we all live in that I have to raise my kids in. For a long time, it felt like the court just wasn't hearing what we were trying to communicate. Cole's been saying it for years, that the facts were being misrepresented and that we were being unfairly portrayed as non-compliant rednecks who flout the law and don't care about court orders. And finally, in this most recent hearing, the judge saw it all so clearly. Cole asserted and had 40 PowerPoint slides prepared to show UPHE's misdirection to the court. Cole proved that we had provided the documents some 2 or 3 different times throughout this case. Cole, from my jail cell, created in painstaking detail the dates and times the documents were produced, showing the judge our substantial compliance. Worth noting, we also filed proof we had produced these documents with the court several times before this. In fairness, there are 522 entries on the docket, so it's understandable a court might miss them in the shuffle, but the lawyers for the UPHE, you know better. Cole insisted on calling UPHE's counsel to the stand so he could swear under penalty of perjury anything Cole was saying was false. Guess what? Reed didn't take the stand. Cole proved with evidence that we had not only complied, but gone above and beyond to meet every requirement to the best of our ability. As a show of good faith, we asked UPHE what they thought was outstanding. And even if it wasn't on their previous list or in a court order, we agreed to give it to them. The other side's statements were flat out false.
Yep.
And that revelation changed everything. The judge finally saw it.
And that's one of the things that, like I said before, as much as people like to go after Bolitho and say, oh, he's just not seen. No, as soon as you have to understand that the world that we see, the YouTube stuff that we see, the shenanigans that happen, the other kind of garbage that you see happening, and until the court actually looks at it and views what's going on, then the judge is only going by the information that he has. That's why I'm not so hard on Bolitho. And, I've had people say, well, Bolitho is not doing X, Y, or Z. I don't know what's going on else in the judge's life. He's got more cases than just this one. And he's already made it clear he does not like these kinds of cases whatsoever. So he's going to be taking things at face value. And it really sucks because whenever you've got someone that's doing everything as the judge asks, as compared to somebody that does everything that the judge asks them not to do, it becomes really difficult because he's only looking at what's in the pleadings, and they're using that to their advantage currently. But whenever that changes, that's whenever it's going to really sink in, and it's going to start to hurt. And right now, they know that hurt is coming. Because as they're trying to drag it on, as much as they like to scream about their polyflop, look at the evidence. Who is the one that has filed more than Jeremy has in these cases? Look at who's created the most amount of filings. And we're talking 3 times the amount that Randy has filed has been from the other side.
If your polyflop has prolapsed or is otherwise painful and engorged, please see your proctologist.
definitely need one. And that's why I don't get so hard on the judge because of it, because he isn't seeing exactly what's going on. And is you can't sit there and point to things that they're not willing to look at. You can't point those things out, which the fleas are about to find out whenever they think that, oh, we're going to file all this stuff in there. What happened whenever bullshit got filed? We saw just exactly what happened with Paint Chips's filings. The judge turned around, looked at it, and he was like, yeah, these are stricken. They're filed improperly.
Well, and then, and he knows better than that. I mean, come on. And then he's trying to throw out there this First Amendment bullshit. No, it was obscene. It was unacceptable. Yes. You know what court decorum is, you fucktard.
Oh, yeah, he does. That's why he did what he did.
Yeah, he's playing. And I said this too the other day. In my opinion, I'm not going to go too deep into it, but in my opinion, this fat fuck has been trying to, just like what he did before, also building up and is going to be using, should something go sideways, a defense.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a large part of this is, in my opinion, for him.
Yep.
He gets to say and do whatever the fuck he wants to, but he's also trying to build a defense because of what's happened before.
Yep.
Or what's been said before.
Exactly. So glad I'm covering it. Well, thank you, Beth. No, it is important. You know, this guy right here, the stuff that he's gone through, and whenever they showed this to me, and I can't remember who it was, I'd have to go back through my emails, but they sent this to me and they said you should check this out. And I like I said, I view things, and sometimes I decide not to, but whenever I started hearing the similarities in it, I was like, this is the same kind of shit that we're seeing happening with Jeremy. Mm-hmm. You know, except he's brought lawsuit against other people, but they're playing the same game. You know, and it's just reprehensible, the level of garbage that we've seen. I watched Heavy D for years. Yeah.
Courtroom felt it, and for the first time in a long time, the truth was undeniable. Man, I get goosebumps thinking about it because this has been hell. How did I end up in jail? It wasn't for breaking any law. I didn't do anything illegal. Remember, I was thrown in jail on contempt of court charges, which aren't criminal. I didn't break a law, it's not illegal. Contempt of court basically just means that the judge says that you are screwing up the court process, or you're not following and you're not participating the right way, and so he can charge you with contempt, which means that order is designed to just stop you from doing whatever you're doing that's hurting the court process. And Reed Zars wrote in his request to the judge, he said, hey, if Mr. Sparks doesn't provide me with all these different documents, which I had already provided, if he doesn't get them by this date, then please put a warrant out for his arrest. And the judge was just believing all the stuff that Reed Zars had submitted, and so he's assuming like, well, this guy really is just blatantly ignoring me, and I can't have that happen, so I'm gonna issue, an order for his arrest.
And that is the other kind of crap that we've seen from Bubbles. Putting things
not
in
only
there.
that, but also going back to the very beginning of this whole thing, back when it was Jeremy Hales, LP, and Bumblefuck, DeThomas's.
Yes.
That's the kind of shit that he was doing. He was just buying her bullshit. And in my opinion, going back to what some other people have said, I think it also came down to an idea of Jeremy being an out-of-stater, northerner, whatever it is. Right. Outside the good old boy system. And so he was just going along and buying her bullshit and doing things from the bench that he should not have been doing. And that is why, which the useless turds want to always lie about and try and obfuscate or completely leave covered up, that is why he was removed.
Yeah.
That is why he was overturned. That is why Jeremy Hales got his constitutional rights back, because of that kind of shit.
That's why whenever he showed up to court for a hearing with a new judge, that they did not hesitate to drop the case. Because they were trying to get a protective order against Jeremy for all these horrible things, and now it was time to show the evidence. And that's the same way that the fleas are going to be doing. As soon as it comes time to show the evidence, they don't have any evidence to show, because all they have is speculation and lies. And whenever those lies are being called out, and that's why I talk about these things, is because the reason why you see Tug, Megan, J Hip, Rosalind Duke exposing every single thing that they're doing, why they get so upset and so pissed off and so hell-bent on trying to destroy these channels, and whatever it is that they're doing, doxing them, calling on public doxing, calling on mass flagging, those are the kinds of things that they're doing, because nothing drives them up the wall any more than people calling out their bullshit. Because they're trying to create a narrative around things that don't exist, making up things that never were said. And as soon
or
as
just
they get
feelings
called
in
out,
general.
they shift gears.
Yeah. Or just feelings in general.
Well,
because of their own delusion and the way they think that things should be, or as long as they say or do it, it's okay. But anybody else, oh my God, woe be to them. You know, the world's coming to an end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's because they're fucking delusional. And that's
well,
why I said what she thinks is her quote unquote evidence, the vast majority of it's going to get tossed, guaranteed. Because it's not. It's not pertinent to her herself.
Nope.
And that's what she needs to be worrying about. Anybody in that case.
Yeah, they should be mostly concerned about themselves.
Yeah.
And shoring up what they've got
That's
done.
the reality of it. Yeah.
That's why they're dodging service. Is because they know that as soon as they're called out and they have nowhere else to run, they run and hide, and they cannot face anything.
Yeah.
They are cowards.
Yeah.
Why do you think that Bubbles jumped off this case? Because he knows every single one of these people are cowards. He knows that they will throw him under the bus for all the bullshit that he's pulled.
Well, not only that, but the reality is he thought, like we discussed in the beginning, in my opinion, he thought that it was going to be easy money. Oh, we'll get in there, we'll start saying this stuff, we'll file these things. This guy will just throw money at us to go away. Or Larry will throw money at us to go, or whomever else.
Oh, yeah.
They'll just throw money at us to go away. Well, then when he ended up realizing that the risk wasn't worth the reward, then he skimmed out. However, don't think he's gone, because he's still floating around behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah. I guarantee you he is floating around.
And I guarantee you that from behind the
scenes,
scenes, under the table, he's going to be wanting some type of compensation.
Thank you, Debbie Baker, for the $10 cash out. That is very kind of you. Thank you very much. That really, it's they think that they're getting away with a lot of stuff. He's been thrown under the bus by Fleas One. Oh, has he really? I mean, has he really been thrown under the bus by him? Or is it just a bunch of smoke and mirrors?
Yeah.
Are
it's
they,
hard to say.
If people really think that Fleas and Lynette are having some sort of beef, is it real, or is it just smoke and mirrors? Is it just to get her to shut up? Because you notice she's had the opportunity to bring a suit against the Fleas, but never did. She had opportunity to get that money back. She had people that were willing to help her get that money back that belongs to her. And she didn't do anything. She hasn't used that opportunity. Matter of fact, she did the absolute opposite. And
now, is it me, or
worse?
I'm not sure if it's me or not, but your mic it's got that underwater bubble sound. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
And it keeps cutting out. Okay.
No, I hear you just fine.
Okay.
Thank you. Mods in chat late again. I think you're right, Jizzy. Lots of smoke and mirrors. Yeah. Lots of smokes and mirrors on that side, right down to LP and Fleesa being at odds. I have a hard time believing anything that they say.
Yeah.
Because they've been shown to be liars and liars over and over and over and over again. They've been called out. They've been proven with receipts multiple times.
I mean, their court documentation has shown it. You can't take anything they say on face value because they can't even do it right in their court filings. And they throw in all this superfluous bullshit trying to obfuscate and cover up and everything else.
Yeah. You want to thank your generous friends on here for the gifted memberships? Oh, well, we love having you on here. We really do. Thank you. You made my day. No, you're always welcome. And we love the LP group say whatever suits them at the moment. Well, yeah,
whatever goes along with their narrative. Yeah,
exactly. Even if it's at odds with what they said 10 minutes ago. I mean, I watched one of their things and pulled up the transcript and watched them sit there and call on doxing people, then saying that they never dox people, and then pointing at people to dox them if they want to, then calling on them to mass flags, and then calling on people to say, well, don't look up this right here, and here's where you can find their address, and but we would never do something like that. Well, but then turn around, 5 minutes earlier, they're showing pictures of somebody's house, showing pictures of their kids. But they never
scream,
like
exactly, or scream and holler about, you shouldn't bring the kids into it. You shouldn't talk about children. But then at the same time, exactly that, bringing children into it.
Yeah,
I could do this, or I could do that, or blah blah blah. Yeah,
1 minute saying that the money is for what was the money being raised for? Let's see, the money was being raised for a fence, and then they show up to do something on the fence, and then it's we got all this. I mean, we sit there and we were like, that doesn't look like they put those in concrete. Well, yeah, they put them in concrete like 3 feet under. Yeah, Robbie was never served, and then of course they show proof of him being served. Oh, this never happened. Then we show proof of it. It's like this constant thing that they say, but then they never back up the receipts on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was never served. No, they're sitting there. They got your daughter accepting the papers off of that. That is a valid service. You are there. And the fucking lawsuits are happening. This big bad I used to stroke CC's balls bullshit, and then too chicken shit to fucking even file a decent or cognitive response to a lawsuit against them. It's just it baffles the mind, and you want them to be seen or heard or something.
As I was in jail and I was talking with my attorney, Cole, we were trying to figure out what needed to happen for me to be able to get out, because remember, there's no bail, there's no opportunity to pay any sort of fine. The only thing that could have gotten me out of jail is having the judge essentially just remove the contempt, purge the contempt charge, or the attorney, Reed Zars, could have stipulated, basically means he could have agreed with my attorney to email the judge and say, hey, we agree, Mr. Sparks can get out of jail now, and then we'll solve all of this in the next hearing. Well, Cole, obviously, as soon as I got thrown in jail, reached out to Reed and said, hey, this is madness, this has to stop. Please stipulate with me and let's email the judge and tell him that, it's time to let him out. And Mr. Zars responded by saying, just know that Mr. Sparks and I were really close to finally having a settlement in place, and if we could just get that settlement done, then we could obviously, agree to letting him out. To me, that basically means extortion. Like, get me paid on my ridiculous amount of attorney's fees, and then I'll tell the judge to let him out of jail.
Exactly.
That's wrong. That should never happen. That's insanity. I was taken to jail and spent 2.5 full days in solitary confinement, all over a paperwork dispute in a civil lawsuit. I was held with the worst of the worst. Pedophiles, rapists, murderers, you name it. I was strip searched both upon arrival and after each time I met with my lawyers every single day. That means roughly 3 full cavity searches every single day. Then this last Thursday, day of my hearing, Cole went in, laid out the truth, showed the proof, invited UPHE's lawyers to take the stand, and the judge immediately recognized what had happened. The court was at a loss for words regarding the situation and told everyone, essentially, let's not let this happen again, meaning, I can't believe we're here and I don't want to see you guys back in my courtroom. That's what vindication looks like. That's what it feels like to finally be seen after years of being misunderstood and misrepresented. Honestly, this case has exposed how broken the system really is. The Clean Air Act's citizen suit provision was designed to hold big corporations accountable, but it's now being used as a weapon against small businesses, mechanics, and even private citizens. Groups like the UPHE have been using this model for years, suing, collecting settlements, and walking away with massive legal fees. And here's the kicker. You ready for this? None of those fees can be directly tied to actually improving Utah's air quality. Not $1 goes toward cleaner air, emissions programs, or environmental projects. To my knowledge, it just gets sent to Washington and subsumed in the bureaucratic web of the EPA and the giant federal budget. Instead, most of the money goes into the pockets of lawyers, including an out-of-state attorney named Reed Zars from Laramie, Wyoming, who's built a career off of these kinds of cases. That's not environmental justice. That's a business, and it's wrong.
And
like I said before, in my opinion, it's terrorism. They're using it in a terroristic way, and they don't give a shit. They don't care about him or his family or anything else, any of the things that he's built, any of the things that he's done, the people that he has helped out, the people who have lost loved ones that they've gone and done body recoveries on. They don't give a shit about any of that.
Yeah.
And so this is where I go back to what I was saying before, where we get some of these laws or whatever, and in my opinion, we've got way too many fucking laws as it is. But we get these laws that may start out with good intentions, but the roadway to hell is paved with good intentions. And this is exactly what ends up happening. It's weaponized and turned and twisted.
Yeah. And this kind of stuff, they don't stop. That's the thing. They use the attorneys that win in these settlements and these lawsuits, they just turn around and find their next victim.
Yeah, exactly. Yep,
That's
it just
all that they
bounces
do.
from one to another. Or you'll find, guaranteed, you'll find, I don't know where the rest of them lie, but just like that list that showed earlier, or like what's going on with well, I don't want to include them in on it, but that list that you showed earlier.
Yeah.
You'll see where they're involved in this case here. This specific case for his life has been upturned for 9 years.
Yep.
But guaranteed, they've got a dozen or more going on somewhere else
Exactly.
at the same time, because all it is just a constant influx of money. And that's what it comes down to. Like you said, none of this shit goes to any environmental stuff at all.
Nope.
It's going to lining their pockets, plain and simple.
Exactly. And while they're going out and buying a big smoking diesel or a new boat.
Yeah. Or their own private planes.
Well, I mean, I got to have that private plane so
Yeah.
I can go and speak at this,
But nobody else
air
can.
summit.
Which is the same theory, the same train of thought for the fucktards over there that are like, oh, well, we can say and do it, but nobody else can. Okay.
Yeah, D's stand up for what he's doing. Like he said, he's not perfect. He's made mistakes along the way, but he's learned from those mistakes and tried to improve himself.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's where you guys come in. I'm not asking anyone to go after or attack anyone. I want to make that clear.
And he does make this very clear throughout. Do not reach out to any of these people. Do not harass them. Do not contact them. Same way with anything that's happening with Hale stuff. Don't reach out. Do not do that. All it does is it creates more problems because then they try to use that as somebody's doing something atrocious towards them.
Like we've said many times, just sit back, eat the popcorn, drink your drinks, and
comment here.
Watch the shit show unfold. Yeah.
Oh, I think I got it fixed.
Hang out for lags.
Does it work now?
Well, I don't know. Did you take the Viagra? Oh, you mean the music? Oh, no. I hear nothing.
It doesn't work?
No.
No music? Still nothing?
No.
Damn it. All right.
It's not what this is about. But I am asking people to speak up respectfully, firmly, and factually. I know that they even have a big public event coming up here in Salt Lake City soon. And I'm not telling you to go crash their event. I'm telling you, if you want answers to the questions just like I do, get a hold of them. Where's the money from these lawsuits going? And why are you spending years targeting small businesses instead of solving real pollution issues? How much have their attorneys collected in these last 10 years off these cases? In contrast, how much money has been sent to actually improve air quality in Utah? Maybe they have a good answer, but in my 8-year nightmare, I haven't found a single one.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm telling you all
bet
this
on
is so that we, all of us collectively, can get together to push for some major reform. The Clean Air Act has to be changed. The way it's written right now allows for 100% of the attorney's fees to be paid out to the attorneys that are coming after you, even if they don't win their full claim against you. Remember, they originally sued us for $114 million, and they only ended up getting like a $500,000 or $600,000 federal penalty judgment, meaning those are the fees we needed to pay to the EPA or wherever. But their attorney's fees that they've racked up, doing all sorts of crazy stuff, including taking trips all the way down to the Meta campus to totally ineffectively try to garnish wages down there, that never changed. They were able to bill us for the full amount. So our proposal is just rewrite that law, change it so that the attorneys who sue you can only get like 25% of the total penalty, rather than just some blank check where they can just go at this forever. And even if they're not very successful, but they still are successful on one or two little things, they can just bill you the full amount. That's insanity. It's allowing for good, innocent, hardworking people to either lose their freedom or lose their livelihood that they've worked so hard for. So this has to change, and it starts with me and you. You can also reach out, respectfully again, to their lead attorney, Mr. Reed Zars of Laramie, Wyoming, and ask him the same thing. Let them hear from real people who see through this insanity. I wanna make this clear. This isn't about hate. It's about accountability, Mr. Zars.
Well, but I wouldn't even say that, because
I've done everything I can.
I'm willing to
comply
bet that
pay.
this attorney, in my opinion, is such a shitbag that he would use that against him and say, look, he's calling for mass harassment. I've got all these people harassing me. I mean, this guy's a fucking slime bag, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fucking slime bag.
Yeah.
He's built his entire life and career on ruining, just like certain other people.
Mm-hmm. Just
guy's a
take down
shitbag.
anybody that they can.
Yeah.
What's fair and to move on with integrity. I tried to fix this before the lawsuit was even filed, and I've tried to fix this after the lawsuit was filed. I've offered to host the lawyers for UPHE to sit knee to knee with me in my shop to talk this out. They've declined, and I've invited the lawyers to my shop to inspect anything they wanted to, documents included. But surprise, surprise, they declined. This case should have been over years ago, but instead, it's been dragged out for profit and publicity. Thanks to Cole Cannon's relentless work, the truth finally came to light, and the judge saw it. After years of being misunderstood and misrepresented, we finally got the moment of vindication we deserved, and I got set free out of jail. To everyone who's reached out, family, friends, fans, total strangers, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Your support through this, honestly, means more than you'll ever know, and I get choked up just thinking about it. This was never about me trying to dodge responsibility. It was about standing up for fairness, truth, and accountability, not just for myself, but for every small business owner and citizen who could get caught in the same ugly, disgusting, mind-numbing trap. I'm home, I'm good, and I'm more motivated than ever to make sure this story leads to actual change. Because nobody, and I mean absolutely nobody, should ever spend 2 days in jail for a civil paperwork dispute. That's not justice. That's bureaucracy run wild. We're gonna keep telling this story, and we're gonna keep pushing for reform, and we're gonna do it the right way. Thank you for listening. And to UPHE, if you're watching, I genuinely hope this experience makes you reflect on what true environmental progress actually looks like. Now in closing, I have a message for you, Mr. Reed Zars, Dr. Brian Monk, and everyone else at the UPHE. You crossed a line you can't uncross. You wrongfully stole my freedom and tarnished my good name. And now, I will pursue accountability in every forum until this can never happen to anyone else. Because even though I'm vindicated, I'm nowhere near done.
There we go.
Yeah.
Way to go, Heavy D.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Yeah.
All these wonderful people who've been here just listening to us yammer on. Do you want to give them one more letter?
Oh, sure. Well, yeah. We could do
All
that.
right. We'll
I
give them
think
one
so.
more letter.
Sure, why not?
It'll be a
Send them off
blast.
with a smile.
We will send you off. Well,
Yeah, tortoise interference. Damn it.
tortoise
Oh,
interference. Well, yeah.
Or what are the idiots over there say? Torturous. Because I
Yes.
can't pronounce anything correctly.
Well,
Torturous interference.
it's hard to do that whenever you whistle through your teeth. Just saying.
Oh, well, yeah, that's true.
I mean,
Well, you're so damn ugly, your front jibs jump off to run away. I don't think there was a dog involved in that.
all right, let's get this bad boy going, and I will have some music for us. Make sure that volume's down good. Okay, just want to make sure before I do this. Here we go, one more time.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzy, Wiz, Nut.
Oh yeah.
All right. Open letter. You're reported. Brigade isn't copyright. Oh, your reported brigade isn't copyright. It's censorship and drag. Oh.
Ah,
Felisa, spare us the pageantry. You just look nasty in a tutu. You and your mod decided to run a 2-channel relay race called 2 Lees in a Pod, where the baton is a lazy post inviting your crowd to mass flag Megan and Tug for TOS or copyright. This isn't rights enforcement. It's a tantrum with a hyperlink. You didn't identify a work. You didn't cite a timestamp. You didn't even pretend to analyze fair use. You just blew a whistle and told the peanut gallery to push buttons. That's not how adults handle speech. That's how hall monitors cosplay authority when they can't pass the test.
Respect my authority.
I can't do Cartman. Let's be precise, since precision is the natural predator of nonsense. Copyright is a tool, not a mood, you soy-dripping fucktard. If you had an infringement, you'd file a notice that identifies the exact material, explains how the use copies rather than comments, and swears under penalty of perjury that you own what you say you own. But instead, your post reads like a Craigslist ad for a mob. You find this violates TOS or copyright. Feel free to report it. Ain't got no gas in it. Translation. We don't have a claim. We have soy-dripping feelings. I often need a soy bag IV and maxi trauma pads to... Oh, wait a minute. Please smash this with us. Oh, don't smash anything of hers. No clapping the cheeks either. Your hands will just fall off. You published this on your channel, and had your mod mirror the posture on their channel only underlines the coordination. You didn't seek remedy. You recruited a pile-on. Oh. Well, never mind, too late. Here's the part you can't scrub with a community strike like one of your loofahs. Megan and Tug do commentary. They transform. They critique. They pause, cut, annotate, and dismantle. That's not maliciously using your content. That's using your content exactly how the public square intended, which is to test claims against sunlight. When you attack that with a mass report dog whistle, you're not protecting a market. You're trying to bulldoze a record. And every time you press that button, you carve the same confession into the bench. The problem isn't theft. The problem is exposure.
they've got a lot to expose.
Yes. Some shit I just don't want to see. Please, Megan. Never show Tori in a tutu or whatever the fuck she was going to do. I don't know. I blanked. I forgot. I forgot the rest of that evening. I think I blacked out shortly thereafter.
Oh, it was hilarious. Oh, God.
okay.
We'll talk about that later.
Your feel free to report it is also a written receipt for bad faith. It proves you weren't acting as a rights holder seeking redress. You were inciting anonymous pressure to short-circuit scrutiny. You wanted the platform to swing the hammer for you without the facts or the risk of lying on a form. That's the tell. Just saying. Real claims go through channels with names, dates, and consequences. Cowardice posts a link and hopes the herd brings torches. Then there's the theater. You lob words like malicious because they're noisy, not because they're relevant. Malice isn't an element of infringement, and violates TOS is a vibe, not a standard. You didn't even pretend to engage the only questions that matter. What was used? How much? To what end? And whether it substitutes for your original. You dodged all of that to weaponize ambiguity. Vague on purpose isn't a winning legal strategy. It's a confession that the specific acts would set you on fire.
That's a lot of flame.
Yeah. This isn't your first lap around this track. And oh, what a slow, loping, cough-induced hacking lap that is.
Damn it, I don't have a cigarette lighter. I'm sitting there flicking it. Just...
You could just smack into the microphone, apparently. The anti-what the Hales pattern is as subtle as a foghorn. I almost said foghorn leghorn. Bluster, bait, false frame, call to flag, then claim you're being harassed when the clip reappears with context. And every time your narrative blows a tire, you try to slash the replay booth. And every time, what the Hales and the folks you obsess over keep doing the unforgivable, playing your own words slowly with receipts. If you had the argument, you wouldn't need the mob. You'd stitch a rebuttal, press upload, and let the views decide. Since you prefer, what the fuck was... Since you fork charts to standards and slop down chicken skins, here's one you can actually use. If you want to be taken seriously for 5 minutes, identify the exact segment you wish to claim that is infringing. Specify duration. Explain why the use is not transformative and how it supplants your original in the market. Acknowledge the parts that are plainly commentary or criticism and set them aside, because those aren't yours to gatekeep. Then sign the document that says, Then sign the document that says you're telling the truth. Well, if you can't do that, then stop hiding behind copyright and chicken skins like it's a KFC massacre or like it's a bouncer who owes you a favor. It isn't. It's a statute, and it doesn't salute your feelings. Your mod doesn't get a pass either. Running the same gambit for a second channel doesn't create legitimacy. It creates a paper trail. The duet routine makes it look less like a rights claim and more like an organized attempt to chill speech you don't control. Well, that matters. When bogus takedowns and coordinated false flags pushes land, the context you published becomes the exhibit that makes your motive plain. The internet doesn't forget.
Oh, no.
Courts don't love brigades. And platforms are slowly learning the difference between creators defending a catalog and bruised egos weaponizing the report button. You also did yourself a reputational dirty. Dirty. Get out the loofahs. We got some hard scrubbing to do. Every time you reach for the flag instead of the facts, you teach your audience not to think. Well, I don't think she has to teach too many of them very hard on that. You train them to smash, not read.
Mash.
That's dopamine now, decay later. Audiences that can't handle critique can't handle you wobbling either. They'll abandon you at the moment the next shiny outrage gives them a simpler button to push. You're not building a community. You're manufacturing a reflex, running a turkey farm that gobbles at every shining object. Reflexes don't defend you when the commentary lands with receipts. And your report it looks like a surrender flag, printed on toilet paper.
No reach arounds.
No, I can hear it now. The great North American cock gobblers, and that includes you, you moose fucking Canuck. So we're done pretending this was a misunderstanding. You weren't confused. I almost said you were corned. You were cornered by your own words. Well, that too. And tried to nuke the replay. Megan and Tug will keep doing what you can't stand, cutting your claims into digestible pieces, testing them against reality, and letting the audience watch. That's not theft. That's accountability. If you want fewer accountability clips, make fewer accountability moments.
It's true.
No shit. If you want fewer flags on your conscience, stop begging strangers to carry them. Here's the final mercy you won't deserve, but we'll get it anyway. Take down the brigade call or replace it with a real claim containing real particulars. Either path is cleaner than this. But if you keep trying to smother criticism with a fog of reports, don't whine when the fog parts and you're standing there holding the smoke machine. You made that choice. Own it. Signed with crayons, questionable judgment, and the aerodynamic advantage of a star-spangled dome. Wow, that was very descriptive. Shizzy was nut. Velcro shoes locked, helmet scuffed, window streaks free, and ready for another lap. And I will never be your fucking daddy.
It is about time. Let's break this mother down. With Shizzy, Whiz, Nut.
Thanks all you guys for showing up.
Thank you, everybody.
Do you have another wonderful story coming up pretty soon?
That I don't know. I've got some ideas. I'm thinking about potentially doing like what I did before and just kind of doing a collection, if you will, and just kind of writing it off. I get tired of doing the voice stuff, or I like it more from like a first person perspective. That's kind of more my thing.
Oh, absolutely.
And so some of these stories, so I might do that and just do like what I did on the last one and just take a bunch of the urban legends or ghost stories and kind of put them together. It doesn't necessarily have to be true. It's just well, they all basically run into the same thing. I mean, if you really look at them. So
yes,
you're not really missing out on anything.
That does happen.
Yeah.
Almost the same exact thing.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same usual storyline, basically.
Oh, let's see. What time is it? It is. We got a couple more hours before Tug comes on. So where can I send all you wonderful people? Let me see. That's the 25th. That's definitely not today. I don't know where I can send you. Let's see. We've got true crime, new information we show, alive in Celeste. I don't know who this is. I must be subbed to him, but I honestly don't know who this is. Let me see who this is. I don't want to send you guys over somewhere that I don't know who it is. This is true crime with strategic eyes. Oh, okay, I haven't seen him in a while. He's got 463 watching him, and he's going to be watching some true crime. So I think I'll either send you guys over there, or Let me see if we've got something else going on here that could be a blast for you guys, because I want to give you guys some love, and that's where I like to be. Yeah,
I forgot. I do have to compose my letter of appreciation for Just Jay.
Oh yeah, you're gonna have to read that one live. We're gonna have to read that one live.
I think I might have to take some time to do that.
I want to send you over to Strategic Eyes. This guy has no idea who I am at all. I guarantee you. So I'm going to send you over there and just give a big shout out to him, and give him lots of love, because he covers true crime stuff. I've seen his stuff before, but I haven't really interacted with him. So show him some love. Just show him some love and let him know where you came from, because he's going to get totally confused. Same thing I did to Camelot. I love doing this to other people. All right, guys, you have.
Thanks, everybody.
We'll
see you later.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, you thought I was done, bless your heart, but I'm still living rent-free, it's a work of art. Call me daddy, call me nut, call me the goat. You're paddling upstream while I'm running this boat. You say, I don't care, yet you're glued to the screen, caught up in my glow while you stay unseen. Your shade's like a breeze, it's barely a draft. Meanwhile, I'm the Picasso of roasting your ass. You say you're over me, oh how cute, but here I am, still the star of your loop. You're my biggest fans, don't even deny, so grab some popcorn when daddy goes live. Live. Call me daddy, yeah, shout it loud. King of your thoughts, I'm making you proud. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, headline act. Your background noise, and that's just a fact. Let's face the score. You hate that you love me, but you keep wanting more. You're like a dog chasing cars, you don't know why. But here you are, barking while I touch the sky. Your comments are gold, such comedy gold. Who hurt you? Oh wait, it's me, I'm told. You're keeping tabs like an unpaid intern while I'm cashing checks. When will you learn? Your timeline's a shrine to every move I make. I'd say thanks, but you're a nasty skank. Oh, Shizzy's washed up. Yeah, sure, Jan, yet here I am, the centerpiece of your plan. You hate watch my stream like it's Oscar night, but guess what, kiddos? I'm still shining bright. Call me daddy. Send in your bread, I'm still rent-free in your effing head. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy on your brain. I'm your mental landlord, you can't complain. Let's keep it real. You hate that I'm winning, but you love how it feels. Oh, I'm sorry, did I break your streak? You tried to ignore me for like half a week, but daddy's too spicy, you can't look away. I'm the train wreck you need every single day. So while you're out there with your plastic clout, I'm here sipping coffee watching you freak out. You're irrelevant, wow, what a take. Now go rewatch my vids while I count how much I make. I count how much I make. Call me daddy, yeah, own it now. I'm reading your brain and you don't know how. Papa Nut, Shizzy Daddy, let's set the bar. I'm the constellation, you're a burned out star. Embrace your role, cause I'm the main character. You're just an old ragged ass, burned out troll. So that's your bedtime story, kids tucked in sweet and snug. Shizzy Daddy's forever, you lose and you're stuck in the mud. Now say goodnight to Papa Nut, your mental pain. Oh wait, you will see me tomorrow's. Jundin will see me tomorrow, same obsession, same effing thing.
Shows